9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin. mymagicmud.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, and we invite you right here where you can join us on the radio waves. Take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about the world of cryptocurrency. It is a fascinating, deep world with a little bit of drama here and there, and you can keep up to date with the latest on what's happening with Bitcoin over at Bitcoin.com, where they've got a great news section. Also, you can interact with other Bitcoin users over at forum.bitcoin.com, and it is, by the way, an uncensored forum for you, forum.bitcoin.com. There's games you can play with your Bitcoin at games.bitcoin.com. It's really a one-stop shop for everything that you need to get into Bitcoin life, or if you're already involved in Bitcoin, get the latest on what's happening in the Bitcoin world. So once again, it's all over there at bitcoin.com. As we go to your calls and thoughts, Stefan is on the line in Ohio. You're on Free Talk Live on via Skype. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you guys tonight?
What's on your mind?
What do you guys think of spanking?
Spanking like children?
Yes.
Generally, that's that's what people mean when they say spanking.
I think he's right about that. I don't want to jump to a conclusion. So, yeah, I'm against it.
You're against that kind of discipline?
I'm against spanking. I consider it to be hitting. I don't think there's a difference really between spanking and hitting. And ultimately, it teaches children that violence solves problems. And that's not something that those of us who support peace should be teaching.
So what kind of are you saying you're against punishments and rewards entirely? Because I mean,
I'm against violence.
Okay, so if you use, say, timeout, right? Like you would have to, and a child chose not to be in timeout. Like ultimately, you would have to bodily pick the child up, picking somebody up. It may not be violence and sort of what the strictest definition of violence, but it is certainly force, right? Like it's
there's a difference between hitting somebody and stopping that person from doing.
Well, you
something.
had said violence, so I'm just trying to make it clear what it is that you mean when you say you're against violence here. So you're against hitting, but there are lots of different punishments out there, and I guess my thought on spanking is this, and I know that it's controversial on this show. I think it's pretty normal as far as parents go. I would like to point out, I'm the only parent you're going to hear from. So
On the show.
On the show, right? You can ask whatever parents you want as
Other
far as
parents
spanking.
could call in
Indeed, they can. And
at 855-450 free, like Freedom.
There are other parents on the show.
By the way, it's Ian Johnson and Mark. What, you're a parent?
No, I'm not a parent, but there are other hosts that are parents.
But they're not
sort
here
of.
tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So, what I would say is that spanking is probably a punishment that should not be employed by 90% of parents out there, simply because they don't know how to use it. However, if it is a punishment among punishments, and that I think that punishments are something that one can use in order to sort of correct bad behavior. I don't think spanking is in and of itself particularly effective. Nor do I think that
the people who employ it believe that it's very effective.
It's effective in sort of the short term, but once it's overused, you're really in big trouble.
I'm sorry. I mean, I kind of like when I was a child, I wasn't really beat, but I get slapped a lot. And
Slapped
I guess
by
it
your
kind
mother?
of works.
In the face?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's in my hand, because here's the thing. My mom saw it like this. I used to put, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I used to put my hand towards the stove, and she would slap my hand away from the stove because
I think
she
it's
thought,
a very effective use of violence. Yes.
yeah, because I knew, hey, I put my hand near the stove, I'm gonna get slapped, and it's gonna hurt really freaking bad.
That makes a lot of
Or-
sense. No, really, that totally makes sense because you're going to, assuredly have pain versus assuredly having pain.
So the short-term pain of a slap is significantly better
Than a burn.
the long-term scarring of a burn, right?
Do you think if you reach your hand to the stove that you might have taken it away as you started feeling heat?
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe not.
My son was very good about heat. He'd point out every time he saw a fire, hot, 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 hot. And since we have an outdoor
Was he playing
wood boiler,
football?
what's that?
Was he playing football?
No. He just that was his terminology. It's just that I think that people want to make a blanket statement that that spanking is bad, but what they don't want to make the blanket statement is that all kids are different. And different kids need different motivation.
It took me a
you
moment.
far too long
Took
on
me a
that.
moment to get the
It took
hot,
you
hot.
far too long on
Yeah.
that. He like got it like 30. He's like listening to Mark talk. 30 seconds later, he's like,
Yeah, Ian doesn't get jokes.
Well, actually, I did get that joke. Just took me a little while.
I guess as a child, like, the thought of if I do something bad, I'm going to get slapped. Is that really any different than somebody thinking, if I break into this house, I'm going to get shot? It's
what?
almost the same principle. You do something wrong, you're most likely going to get hurt.
But the difference is if you're breaking into somebody's home, you're a trespasser versus being with people who supposedly love you. That's
It's also-
not something you do.
yeah.
You don't
What if I'm
use violence
trespassing in the
against
cookie
something
jar?
you love.
Okay, so now you've gone into the area that violence and love are somehow exclusive, right? Now that is
Well, some
I
people
also think
consent
there's a
to.
huge difference in morality there.
Sure,
Right?
absolutely.
what do you mean?
Reaching your hand towards the stove is not the same as robbing someone else's house.
Well,
you know?
actually, I'm going to have to take that kid to the hospital, and it's going to cost me a lot of money, right? Or I could just
Yeah.
just
No.
let them heal up. I mean, like,
No,
go ahead.
again, I didn't get to finish my point from earlier, which was this: that there's the guaranteed pain if a parent slaps some child for
Yes.
putting their hand towards the stove, versus the lesson that's learned. If a child is able to experience pain, right? So if you're slapping your child because your child experiences pain and thus avoids pain, well, chances are if a child's slowly reaching their hand towards the stove, they're going to feel the heat and they're going to retract their hand before they get any kind of a serious burn because they feel pain. If they don't feel pain, if they got that condition where they don't feel enough pain
Then slapping
and they're
wouldn't
going to
be
burn
very
their hand,
effective.
yeah, it's not going to be too effective, is it?
Right. So what you're saying is that, like, okay, you go ahead, parent, take a risk with your kid because I don't believe in spanking. And that's fine. You can go ahead and say that on radio. It just doesn't carry much
Okay,
weight.
we're not-
I don't know.
hold
I
on.
also like the Facebook meme about this, which was, is your child old enough to understand reason? You know?
I don't know.
It's
I find
the sort
people who are against spanking don't. Exactly at what speed must my hand go through the air in order to subtract IQ points from my child's brain? I mean, is it only striking them on the butt that causes their IQ to diminish? Because the underlying thing here is that hasn't been
the thing
pointed
that
out.
causes their IQ to diminish
Is that there's this
pain.
flimsy science that says that spanking kids makes them dumber, and
pain, repeated pain, and focusing IQ points on pain avoidance.
No,
you're basically focusing.
You're
they're
missing
spending
it
their time.
completely. The
IQ is
kids
fungible.
get hurt all the time. They lose IQ for the same reason the kids that are in war zones lose IQ, because they're terrorized.
Yeah, IQ is fungible. Yeah, you're right.
So stop terrorizing your kids with
Don't
spanking.
terrorize your kids, but you can terrorize them with all kinds of punishments.
All right, we're coming up here.
Terror's the problem, not spanking.
The toll-free number, yeah, but spanking is the most common terrorist punishment.
If your
There's more
kid's old
coming
enough
up.
to understand reason,
if you spank
stop
once a
hitting your
year, big deal.
You shouldn't be hitting your kids before they're old enough to
Right.
understand reason. 855 450
Ever.
free. We'll continue here, and Stefan, you can stick. It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Free Talk Live.
For the listeners, each talk show has like you're in the Joe Blow Army, or, the Ditto Heads. Do the lefties have it too?
I couldn't tell you.
Ed Heads, isn't?
Yep, Ed Heads.
Yeah, Ed Heads. So they all have them. I really want
I'd
to hear
like to
from
rename
you.
our listeners mindless Free Talk Live zombies. What do you think?
Free
Call
Talk
in
Live
if you're-
automaton.
Call in if you're a mindless Free Talk Live zombie.
What does it mean to you to be left? What does it mean to you
Progressive.
to be right? What does it mean to you to be conservative? What does it mean to you to be liberal? I think they're very vague concepts that pit people against one another. Many people who otherwise, in the absence of being able to plaster themselves with that label, might find out they've got an awful lot in common.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget the road.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats
Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
Like the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Right here, our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype as well. So feel free to Skype on into the show here at username LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low and transactions are fast, or can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why. The price of one Dash at this moment, $146 US dollars. Current market cap for Dash is over $1 billion US dollars. As we continue here, we've got Stefan. He's on the line in Ohio. You called in tonight to ask about spanking as a punishment for children, and you're hearing some slightly different views on the show. Mark, you seem to think that spanking could be done okay or well by some parents, but you don't believe the majority of parents can do it.
I think that the majority of parents are completely unqualified for procreation. Just generally that's how I feel.
So what parents should be using violence against their children? Because I say none.
I think that spanking is a form of pain compliance that should be employed as a last resort for children that cannot learn a lesson in any other fashion.
Stefan, why did you ask the question in the first place? Were you spanked as a kid?
Yeah, as a child I was, but it was less, on the butt and more like, my mom would smack me, on the face or on the arm or things like that.
I'm just wondering when Mark will be...
And occasionally I would get a belt to my leg, but,
Jeez. These seem like all the wrong places to be striking. Yeah. Like on the hand when you're reaching for a hot stove, okay, I can go for that one. But the rest, I don't know if I go for it.
I'm just wondering when Mark will be sending Jack through the Klingon Rites of Ascension.
That's right. He's got to fight his way through. He'll get a buckler and a small sword. What's the problem?
Well, no, when I'd get it on the leg, it was usually because, like, for example, this is always a strange and somewhat fun story to tell. When I was younger, my mom put me in the corner, and I thought I was going to be a little smart aleck, so I started jumping in the corner, and she had a very frustrating day, and she told me, keep jumping, and then when I started to get tired, if I stopped, she would crack me on the thigh with a belt.
Gotcha. As far as the stove situation, I don't necessarily support slapping someone very hard in that case, but I don't oppose stopping the child from putting his hand on the stove. I don't consider stopping a child from getting run over by a bus or putting their hand on the stove with force to be the same as a punishment with hitting, which is what spanking is. So I don't put those in the same category.
There's a big difference between slapping a hand away and then slapping the kid across the face.
Oh, I agree.
Because,
I agree.
I concur with you on that same thing. And of course, all of you would agree that spanking is not a violation of the non-aggression principle, which is what some libertarians that I see online saying. Right?
No, I don't agree with you.
I think the
non-aggression principle absolutely needs to be violated sometimes.
I don't,
part of the reason why it's called a principle.
Well, I don't understand what that has to do with it. So you think spanking is a violation of the non-aggression principle or is not?
I think it is a violation of the non-aggression principle, and sometimes principles need to be violated.
So you think that, say, for instance, picking a child up and moving them to another location without hurting them is a violation of the non-aggression principle, but it is maybe necessary. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say spanking, however, not necessary.
I think the children basically, are going to have their, the non-aggression happen against them all the time.
Children are constantly trespassers, right? And so they, there's rules in particular people's houses, and so that's one of the issues that I have with the non-aggression principle. I could very easily put a rule that I tell you guys about. Look, everybody who comes to my property gets punched in the gut, right? With
Guess I'm not coming over to help you with your mixer tonight.
Right, I thank you very much for that, by the way. That would very well mean that you wouldn't visit my house, but you would not call that a violation of the non-aggression principle, right? Because it's not initiation of force.
Informed everybody.
Right. There's a sign at the driveway says everybody who comes to the property gets punched in the gut. You shouldn't be driving.
What if you're walking?
Well, so far, no blind people.
How did he get out to Mark's house? That's what I want to know.
Ever
very
walked
carefully
to the house.
The blind people can hear the traffic. They don't step out in the road because they know where the
blind people are going to die if they try to walk to my house.
It's not something because, for example, when I was younger, I'd only get smacked across the face usually if I said something like extremely obscene or if I cursed. And when you think about it, that can happen to you a lot when you're older. Running your mouth will get you hurt. As somebody who is currently texting me keeps threatening to break my arms.
But apparently, the multiple, you said she slapped you like 100 times. Multiple slaps across the face apparently didn't stop you from mouthing off. So what was the point?
I guess eventually she thought I was going to learn. I mean, I run my mouth quite a bit. I mean, it's not one thing I'm proud of, but maybe it wasn't successful. It worked better on my sister, to be honest with you.
This is the same kind of principle. The same kind of principle as what I said it was like a couple shows ago about libertarians needing to replace the politics of like shame, right, with the politics of self-interest. It's the same with these types of punishment. Libertarians in general, have, and a lot of people in general try to basically use pain compliance. In the case of a lot of things, they try to use shame compliance on people. They're trying to get people to comply by basically using a form of pain. Shame is meant to be a form of pain, right? And trying to impart pain onto someone through, making them, supposedly try and feel humiliated. They're trying to humiliate them or do something to try and make them comply through a negative emotion or reaction. Whereas what should be used is explanatory self-interest, trying to get someone to see how it's in their best interest in the long run, in the future, in whatever situation, or maybe even possibly making an offer and an arrangement. One of those options, either it's just showing them the natural benefits to doing something a certain way in the long run, or whether it is making an arrangement or an offer with someone. Either way, to express self-interest.
It is an arrangement. Don't do that, you won't get hit. Right? Like, that's an offer. And
no, it's really not. You're trying to comply. You're not educating that person as to natural consequences.
Well, you're showing
it's not a teaching experience.
You're negotiating with terrorists in many cases when you're talking about, hey, don't stick the dog in the face with a fork and I'll give you a piece of candy, right? Like the thing is that the non-parents in the room, you think you're dealing with little logical creatures, and you're not. They're monkeys, okay? They're just apes. They're the most dangerous primate the world has ever seen.
Really? Because I guarantee you, if they got bit in the face by a dog, they're not going to stick the fork into the dog again.
I do not want to pay for the freaking medical bills because you've got some kind of logical child rearing nutty
Did that actually happen to you, Mark?
What's this?
Did that actually happen to you, Mark? Your son stuck the dog in the face with a fork?
He stuck the dog in the face with a fork.
Yeah, Fruit Loop does not like that.
And she's a good girl, and so all she did was turn away and try to get away from the stinking little monkey with the sharp piece of metal stabbing at her. Okay? So I raised my voice. Jack! And he shakes, and he drops the fork, right? Because he knows what he's doing is wrong. Now, he didn't get spanked. But he did go to timeout. I've employed timeout on such a rare occasion. I bet it hasn't been employed a dozen times in his 9 years.
Stefan, thanks for the discussion, the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You want to dial in, share your thoughts on child rear-ends with punishments. How do you do it in your household? How was it done to you as a kid? 855-450-FREE, and you can call in on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at Dash.org. That's Dash.org.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees, no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up, too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days, free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
All right, so still to come, Japanese women turning to cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, which is unusual for the cryptocurrency world, mostly dominated by men. The big question has been, well, how do you get women to be more interested in this amazing form of money? Apparently it's happening in Japan, but let's go to your calls and thoughts first. Also, I do want to let you know about the Free Talk Live forum that we're experimenting with. Do people want to use forums anymore? Honestly, I don't know. There's still a few forums out there that are pretty hot and heavy, like the Bitcoin.com. They've got a forum over there.
I don't know. I use this forum called Facebook.
It's not a forum. It gives you the illusion of a forum, but on a forum you can move threads. That's one of the basic features of a forum, and Facebook doesn't have that.
Just triggering Ian.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's a part of the definition of a forum, the ability to move threads. I can understand why it's frustrating for you that in some group
every forum I've ever used until
he means
Facebook
forum software.
Yeah,
forum.
Every forum.
This radio show is a forum.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to use the wider definition of forum, okay. I thought we were talking about internet forums, and on internet forums you can move a thread that doesn't belong somewhere. On Facebook, all you can do is delete it. That's all you can do. And
the delight Mark has in being triggered.
It's basically
I'm done with him.
It's basically like on Facebook, all you have is the hammer, the ban hammer, effectively, and that's the only tool that you have in your moderation inventory. So it's like the worst example of a forum that you can possibly
Facebook
imagine.
is the worst BBS I've ever dialed into.
Except that everybody's on it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. If everybody's there but you can't actually talk to them, what good is it?
Yeah, it's true.
Agreed. They are very, the people don't get notified of stuff particularly well.
If you want to do a direct message to someone else on Facebook, it's fine for that. It can connect you with a person directly if you send them a message.
That's why they spun off their messaging app, I guess.
Unless, of course, the message goes into their other folder or whatever it was. It was called the other folder. Then they made it filtered requests, and so there's there's 3 layers to the Facebook messaging system. So if you don't know somebody, then you can't really send them a message. But which is fine. That has its ups and downs. But if you want to message your friends, you can do that pretty well with Facebook. But then again, you're still sending your messages through Facebook, where that means that Facebook has copies of all your messages on file. So if, let's say, the government wants to get access to all of your messages, unless the two of you messaging were using the, let's see, was it Pigeon, I believe, that has the OTR plugin that you can then encrypt your text using the Facebook messaging system to send the encrypted text. Weird. So you can send encrypted messages over Facebook, but both people have to have the right software on the outside.
Well, WhatsApp is technically owned by Facebook, right? And
that's true. That's true. And they're supposedly encrypted.
I had some suggestions for the Google property, the Google.
Google Plus?
Yeah, Google Plus, right? There's some things that they could have done to fix it, because I mean, a lot of good conversations were happening on Google Plus. A lot of people who are using Google Plus, the very few people who are actually using Google Plus, tend to like it a lot.
Are they still using it?
Yeah, there's still a lot of people who use it but they're sort of like dedicated. The people who are sort of dedicated to Google Plus. But I feel like there's some features that could have been added to Google Plus that really would have changed it, but they didn't hit the mark. I feel like from the beginning. So. Sundar, give me a call. We'll work things and say,
Sundar?
Sundar Pichai.
Who's that?
He's the head of Google.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like Sergey Brin.
And Larry Page. No, that was their forum.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Man, it's still last year.
Yeah, I'm so not with it. Let's go to AC. He's on the line. I don't know where he's calling from, but he's on Skype. Go ahead, AC.
You can hear me?
Barely. I should have done a check with you before we came on. That's my bad. It sounds kind of like you're real far away. We'll have to check back in with you here in a moment. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Just a quick tip, if you want to double-check your settings on Skype, you can always call their Echo Test service.
Did that today.
Make sure it sounds okay. Because sometimes I drop the ball and I don't do my job and actually screen the calls to make sure they sound okay. So anyway, we were talking about Bitcoin earlier in the show here tonight, and I've had this story in my show prep for a few days now. It's actually came out last week on Friday. Over at Reuters.com, long the preserve of geeky enthusiasts, Bitcoin is going mainstream in Asia, attracting Mrs. Watanabe, the metaphorical Japanese housewife investor, South Korean retirees, and thousands of others trying to escape rock-bottom savings rates by investing in the cryptocurrency. Asia's moms and pops, already regular investors in stock and futures markets, have been dazzled by Bitcoin's 100% surge so far this year. In comparison, the broader Asian stocks benchmark has gained 17% over the same period, and I would say 100 is a conservative number at this point. What was it, around it was just getting up to around $1,000 around the turn of the year, around New Year's, and it's now getting close to $3,000. So that's almost a 200% increase in that amount of time. But even after a tumble from last week's record $2,779 high, Bitcoin rose by more than 60% in May alone. And by the way, it's made all of that tumble back. So again, it was at around $2,780. It then tumbled by about $500 down to around $2,200 or so, $2,300, and it has come back since that time. Driven higher in part by investors in Japan and South Korea stepping in as China cooled after a central bank crackdown earlier this year. Over the last 2 weeks, and encouraged by Japan's recognition of Bitcoin as legal tender in April, exchanges say interest has jumped from the two countries. Bitcoin trades at a premium in both due to tough money laundering rules that make it hard for people to move Bitcoin in and out. And I guess what they mean by that is to move in and out of Bitcoin, because it's super easy to move Bitcoin. That's not a problem. You don't have to ask anyone's permission for that. You just send the Bitcoin from your Bitcoin wallet. There's no government that can stand in the way of that. But getting Bitcoin, cashing your Bitcoin out into the yen or something like that,
you need an exchange for that.
That makes things more complicated. Then government rules come into play.
Sure, at that point it's a commodity that you've traded in, and the government, especially if you've used the same exchange to buy and sell, then there's a record of what you bought it at, what you sold it at, whether it's a gain or a loss, and at this point in all likelihood it's a gain. So the taxes are going to come into play and that kind of thing.
Mutsugo Higo, a 55-year-old Japanese social insurance and labor consultant who bought around 200,000 yen's worth, that's about $1,800 worth of Bitcoin in March, to supplement her retirement savings, says, quote, "After I first heard about the Bitcoin scheme, I was so excited I couldn't sleep. It's like buying a dream." She says, "Everyone says we can't rely on Japanese pensions anymore. This worries me, so I started Bitcoins," unquote. And I've experienced something similar locally here in the Keene area. I called up one of the garbage company that services the LRN.FM studio, and older lady answers the phone over there. I figured she was just, the lady that answers the phone. Turns out she's the owner of the business. And I had just asked her just offhand a few months ago, hey, are you guys taking Bitcoin? Just because that's always a good opener to start a conversation if they want to. And she said she's not taking Bitcoin, but she's very interested. She'd heard about it. She'd heard that it was going up in value. And she expressed to me she's 70 years old and that she is very interested in acquiring some Bitcoin. And so, again, just ask the question. You never know what the answer is going to be.
So you convert her?
No, it's been a process. She's busy. The thing with a business owner is they're busy. They are always doing something, and they barely have time to slow down and think about stuff.
I also think that there's a level of confusion in play here in Keene, New Hampshire, where we have more Bitcoin-accepting businesses per capita than any place in the world. And
that we've seen. Certainly more than San Francisco, which is the supposed number one.
The telephone number here is 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom.
Yes.
If you have some kind of information that's contrary to
I would love to know who rivals Keene, New Hampshire.
I would like to hear about it. However, I think that many of the businesses here become kind of confused by the activists asking them about Bitcoin, because the activists will follow up. The activists act very much like a salesperson.
That's what we're doing.
Trying to get a job done. But there's no commission. There's no no real particular point. The activists will actually spend money. You will buy a business a little tablet so that they can take Bitcoin, showing your level of commitment. I think what this does
that's part
is,
of my church project, so
yeah,
yes.
It confuses the situation because who does that? Only people that are motivated by money, and your odd lunatic does it, right? So I think that's kind of it. Like the business owners are like, why am I being followed up with? I really don't know. Hey,
They haven't expressed that to me. More coming up here in moments. We'll continue with your calls and thoughts. It's Free Talk Live. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 6th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,292 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,879. Antiwar.com reports the Department of Justice has charged 25-year-old Reality L. Winner with illegally removing top-secret intelligence from a facility and sharing that intelligence with the news media in relation to the story from The Intercept on the NSA document involving the Russian election hacks. Reality, who was born Sarah, was working as a contractor for Pluribus International and is accused of having given the document in question to The Intercept. The Intercept appears to have inadvertently gotten her caught by contacting the government about the document and showing them a picture of it. The picture showed the document had a particular fold in the paper, which officials concluded were able to trace back to a specific printed version of the document. Investigation into the 6 people involved in printing the document revealed Winner had been in contact with The Intercept around the time it changed hands. The Intercept also reportedly shared the postmark on the document they got, revealing it was sent from Winner's home. There was a report of a potential political motive for the leaks, as Winner is said to have called Trump a piece of crap on her Facebook page. Officials were quick to denounce Winner as having violated the trust she was given in handling the document. The criminal complaint suggests she could face 10 years in prison for the leaks, and given the Trump administration's eagerness to show itself cracking down on such leaks, they will likely be pushing hard for the biggest sentence they can get. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports National Geographic said professional rock climber Alex Honnold has become the first person to scale the 3,000-foot El Capitan granite wall of Yosemite National Park without ropes or safety gear. The society said Honnold completed what may be the greatest feat of pure rock climbing in the history of the sport. It took Honnold nearly 4 hours to climb the iconic natural structure. Honnold began the equipmentless climb, a style known as free soloing, at 5:32 a.m. on Saturday after he ate his standard breakfast of oats, flaxseed, chia seeds, and blueberries. Honnold told National Geographic, "With free soloing, obviously I know that I'm in danger, but feeling fearful while I'm up there is not helpful to me in any way. It's only hindering my performance, so I just set it aside and leave it be." Honnold trained in China, Europe, Morocco, and the United States to prepare for the climb. A team of filmmakers accompanied Honnold and will use footage of the climb in an upcoming National Geographic documentary film feature. Professional rock climber Tommy Caldwell told National Geographic, "This is the moon landing of free soloing." Honnold described the climb up the steep wall as walking up glass. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports San Francisco has issued subpoenas to Uber and Lyft for a broad scope of records on driving and business practices as part of an investigation to determine whether the ride-sharing service companies have become a public nuisance. City Attorney Dennis Herrera said on Monday he was seeking records to investigate whether Uber and Lyft fail to adequately serve poor neighborhoods and the disabled and whether their drivers create hazards on the road. Herrera said the subpoenas sought 4 years of records from the companies, which are based in San Francisco and have an estimated 45,000 total drivers in the city. The sweeping request includes hours and miles logged by drivers, driver incentives, traffic infractions, and city zip codes visited by the drivers. The subpoena sets up San Francisco and Uber for yet another legal battle, as the two are already locked in a fight over the city's demand for drivers' names and addresses. Herrera sued Uber last month to compel the company to comply with the data request, which Uber has said is an invasion of driver privacy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Every 44 seconds, someone in the United States suffers a heart attack. In 9 out of 10 instances, the heart attack victim will fail to theatrically stumble to the ground and grasp their chest. Don't be a statistic. A heart attack occurs when oxygenated blood is obstructed from flowing properly to the heart muscle and requires victims to act quickly by lurching around with one hand clutching their chest and the other hand reaching out for drapes, blinds, or tablecloths to violently yank out. The first 30 seconds of a heart attack is a critical window. If standing at the time of an attack, move into what is known as the L position by doubling over and grimacing in an unnaturally strained fashion. Use one outstretched hand to grasp for support as you stumble forward, while using the other trembling arm to sweep everything off a table.
This is the Onion News Network.
And we've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. Tonight, here in the studio, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Of course, you can bring up anything that you want. We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts. Let's go to Patrick. He is in Bullhead City, Arizona. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, guys. You asked me a real good question the other day about the illegal search and seizure. I don't know if you remember about they found IP address, and they went in and they found a bunch of people living in this residence.
That might have been on a show I wasn't here for, but I think that might have been maybe Friday night.
Yeah, I think I heard the show. It was a building that had been previously a house, 1313 Mockingbird Lane maybe, and they had split it up into like a dozen apartments or something like that, and then essentially I think the judge ruled that yeah that's fine, search warrant for an apartment, a building, a city block, a city, whatever, it's all the same.
Well, I found out. So I talked to a district attorney friend of mine this weekend, and it was really interesting because I asked him, and this guy's been doing this quite a bit all his life. He started out as an attorney, and he's got a long history. And we had a real good conversation about it. And what he explained to me was pretty interesting. That you guys should know it was they could go after the guy who initially owns the internet signal, in other words, who pays the bill and actually puts it in, but they can't go after anybody else because technically whoever owns the signal is the one responsible. Now, if they didn't find anything on his internet for the child was a child pornography, so they can't prosecute. And the judge, he in his personal feeling, he felt the judge was wrong in pursuing it. And that he said that they couldn't sue the police department for going after him. They could sue the city for unlawful search and seizure if say they didn't find anything and they were harassed or anything got confiscated, like the other people's computers and stuff. But they have to go after the person who initially owns the internet account.
How are they going to find that out necessarily?
They'll ask the internet provider who the account owner is. That's the person whose name is likely going to appear on a search warrant. But as we discovered here when the FBI raided the studios here last year, they took everybody's computers. Go ahead.
Did you guys get them back?
Nope, haven't heard anything.
Well,
of course not. They don't.
He said if it's a municipal thing, if it's something with a local police department, he said more than likely they could actually technically get a class. What did he say? It was more like a class action. He had a special name for it, type of a suit to go against it because it technically has no bearing on them. It bared on the guy who technically had the internet account. He was pretty cool about it. He said, yeah, it sounds to me like somebody really is going to be taken to the cleaners if he was under that jurisdiction. They said that would never flown in his jurisdiction. But I didn't want to sound stupid the other day. He sort of caught me off guard on a real hot day, so I just wanted to clear that up.
So what you're saying is this district attorney's claiming that if somebody is accessing a network that is not their own, meaning a child on a family's computer, or like dad's the person with the name on the bill, but
you're sitting out at the corner. I mean, I suppose
if it's on unrestricted, sure. Some people don't password their internet. That's a possibility. But let's just use somebody who's in the house. So you've got somebody who's got authorized to be on that network. The teenage son or daughter of the parents whose names are on the bill. You're saying that if the teenage son or daughter is doing something illegal over the internet connection, that you believe that they would somehow have a countersuit? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, he's saying, I understand what you're saying, okay, but what he's saying is if there's other residents that are subletting the facility, in other words, they're subletting it, and this is technically their address, and it's broken up into different sections. He said that it wouldn't stand because the owner of the building, who technically has the Wi-Fi signal that everybody's using, would be the primary, as he put it, primary person responsible in the investigation. Everybody else is considered secondary unless they actually had somebody that they initially suspected, and they have to have some form of proof with their name on it. But he was pretty cool about it. I mean,
I hope you're right about that, because aren't you referring to a story where they raided like 11 apartments or something like that?
Yeah. That's what he was saying. He said that it's the initial person who has the primary account. Now, if he goes and advertise to them that it's free Wi-Fi, initially he's the primary person responsible for whatever they're accessing on their computer because
well, he's not responsible for it. I mean, it would seem to be very difficult legally to put responsibility on the administrator, although maybe they'll try, on the administrator of a network for everything that everyone who's using the network does over that network. I mean, that's an impossible thing beyond the most talented network expert to be able to know exactly what is going on, like, there's people in this room on their laptops, and I have no idea what they're doing. And if they're using, some sort of an anonymity service, I have even less of an idea, because as an administrator, I can set up a kind of like a sniffer on my router and log like the different websites that people go to, but that's only if they're using the regular internet connection. And if they connect via a virtual private network, that log won't show anything. So they're not responsible for what those other people do.
But he's saying if they did not find anything with the initial guy that was responsible, in other words, his software. In other words, they investigate his computer. If depending on if the guy was living there. Mm-hmm. The guy was living there. That's what I assumed. The guy was living there too. But the fact is they can go and check his, but they're not supposed. Technically, the other people are not that responsible because it's an open system.
But they did it anyway. I wish I had heard that full story, because I don't know what has transpired as a result of that raid. I mean, I hope they are challenging it on the basis that you're talking about, but it would seem that the government also has a strong argument that if you are attached to this particular network, then that means the warrant applies to your computers too. I think they would have a strong argument for that.
It wasn't really clear, the story. I gave him the basics that you had said on the air, and that's what he told me. And,
thank you for
it was a good. No problem.
Patrick, thanks for the call, man. Thanks for sharing that opinion. And again, of course, when it comes to the law, that's really all that we're ever talking about, is the opinion of an attorney or a group of attorneys.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Calling themselves judges, because almost all of them have been attorneys. So really, that's all that we're talking about. It's an opinion versus another opinion, and then you appeal it if you don't like the first opinion. You appeal it again if you don't like their opinion, and then if you get up to the Supreme Court, well, then you've exhausted your appeals.
Right. These are the opinions that count.
And their opinions are going to stay firm, at least until another Supreme Court overturns those opinions later on, which has been known to happen. So one thing's for sure, the opinions about law have changed over time, and sometimes for the better, a lot of times not so much. 855-450-FREE, that's our toll-free number. That allows you to join us here on the radio, where you can bring up anything that's on your mind. 855-450-3733, or Skype on in, Skype username LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live.
Last week at Consensus 2017, a cryptocurrency conference in New York City, an agreement was made between 56 companies representing 83% of the hashing power for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an international internet currency that has, of late, taken the tech world by storm. In the agreement, they pledged to implement segregated witness, a long-needed patch for the Bitcoin software, at 80% acceptance instead of 95%, and increase the Bitcoin block size, relieving pressure on the network and lowering prices for transactions. This compromise is supported by the former head developer of Bitcoin, Gavin Andresen, and Bitcoin.com's Roger Ver, along with 83% of the Bitcoin miners. Some of the core developers and the influential organization Blockstream do not support it, however. Although the finish line is not yet crossed, it may be in sight, and we here at Free Talk Live, along with most of you, breathe a sigh of relief, hoping that this opens the door to the continuation of the most important piece of software since the internet. Find out more at Bitcoin.com.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We invite you to dial in toll-free and bring up anything that you want on the radio waves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You want to get web hosting taken care of? Maybe you haven't yet started your own website or blog? Well, HostGator makes it easy. You go over to HostGator.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. HostGator.com/FTL, you get 50% off of their regular hosting prices, and they are one of the top hosting companies out there, award-winning, as a matter of fact. In fact, they've got over a 99.99% uptime rating. They've got a simple one-click easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into your hands. So you get the special offer of 50% off of their regular prices by going to HostGator.com/FTL. That's like Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. Dan is in Nebraska. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian Johnson and Mark. Hello, Dan.
Hey.
Hey.
So I've been kind of a new listener to your show, right?
Okay.
And I'm a young man, and I've been wanting to make my life into one that would be like effective, like for the movement towards liberty. And when I heard about the Free Talk Live project, or not Free Talk Live, I'm sorry, the Free State Project, I kind of found that I wanted to get involved in that. But I was wondering, like, what if there's some sort of way that like people could become more like into it as a career? Like, is there any room for like people into law who would be, you know, able to like move to New Hampshire and then be effective in making it a more libertarian area?
You asked of people who are involved in the law. Are you a lawyer?
That's what I'm looking to go into. That's what I'm going to school for.
I can tell you this. There was a great guy who moved up here. Lance Weber was his name. He is an attorney. He moved here with the hope that he was going to be able to take on court cases involving free staters and libertarians up here. And while people were getting arrested, none of them really had any money to hire an attorney. So he wasn't able to make a living directly off of the activist community here. But there's at least one libertarian attorney up here.
Gets a lot of business. He's doing fine.
And he's doing fine, but he's got to serve the whole community. He can't just serve the activist community in order to kind of make it work.
No, that makes sense. I get that much.
There are other people that do sort of activism as a job. I would think that one of the better ways would probably be to, run for some office that pays, and you might
There's
be
not much that pays in New Hampshire.
There's not a lot of them. That's for sure. Maybe something on a city level in Manchester or Nashua or Seacoast or something like that.
If those cities are anything like Keene, then city councilors here get paid $2,000 a year.
That's correct.
So if you're going to get into politics, you need to get into it for the reason of that's something you want to do to try to change things, not that you want to try to make money, because there's not really any money to be made at most political elected positions.
There certainly isn't a well-beaten path. I think that this can be done. The president of the Free State Project, Carlo Garicki, was an attorney, then became the president, was paid to do that. There are other people I've seen that managed to make a living, some better and some worse, Free Talk Live among them, doing activism. And
there aren't very many.
There aren't many.
I wouldn't move anywhere expecting to be able to monetize activism.
It is not a
well-beaten
things. Path. It's basically something you're going to have to create on your own.
Yeah. But I think it would be great to have more legal minds and attorney types up here who are pro-freedom.
Oh, hold on. I lost the signal for a second. I'm trying to reconnect.
That's all right. We'll just go on talking to the audience. But yeah, I think it would be wonderful if people were able to come up here and add their talents to the talent pool, whatever their talents might happen to be, whether they be legally trained. Our Monday night co-host Melanie went to law school. She's decided she doesn't want to become an attorney at this time. But we do have some people up here, and then Dan Hines, who's another one. So actually, there's a couple of Free Stater attorneys. There's Seth in Concord, and then Dan Hines.
It's kind of tragic for Melanie, considering crippling financial debt from student loans.
Oh yeah,
and not becoming a lawyer. It's like
she is definitely under that debt load for sure. For sure, but she more enjoys being an accountant,
right?
So you should do what you love, and
that's one of the problems with college generally is you don't really know when you're 18 years old exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life, especially with 18-year-olds now who haven't even had a job.
A lot of them haven't.
At the very least, at 18 years old, I had been working for 6 years. Not to say that I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know until I was like 30.
Dan, are you back with us?
I am back with you. I'm back with you for like a good 45 seconds now.
All right, go quick with your thoughts then.
All right, I guess most quickly with my thoughts is, I guess maybe as far as what specific career I want to do, I don't know. But what I do know is that I want to make a legacy at the very least, and at least the circle of people who I respect politically. That's something I'd at least like to do with my life. I know for sure in some way.
Well, if you want to get involved in politics, New Hampshire is a great place to do it because everything is so small here. The state representatives there are 400 state representatives. There are another 24 senators, and the state reps only represent about 3,000 people. If you do the math between 1.3, 1.4 million population, it really breaks down to a very small legislative district, so it makes it easy, relatively, to actually walk the district and go and knock on doors and kind of do it the old school, person to person, palm to palm, meeting people in real life way, and that's how a lot of people
have won. You got to have a real job to do that because legislators make no money.
Yeah, no doubt. But just what I'm saying, if you wanted to get into the legislative world, it's relatively easy to do here. And a lot of the races that are run across New Hampshire, there are frequently there's not even a competitor. It's just one person running, and they get in. Dan, thanks for the call. We'll look forward to seeing you up here in New Hampshire one of these days. And be sure you check out the Shire Society Forum if you want to connect with some other people who are already here. Maybe get some questions answered at forum.shiresociety.com. And thanks for the call tonight. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM. Well, you know what? Since he brought us onto that topic, Mark, last night toward the end of the show, you were complaining because you felt as though there weren't enough people here in New Hampshire who've moved here, purportedly as part of the Free State Project or Shire Society, these libertarian migrations that are going on and have been going on for more than a decade now, at least the Free State Project has. And you were complaining because you felt as though they weren't doing enough, that there wasn't enough, like the supermajority of them were doing very, very little to nothing as far as activism is concerned. Would you say that's an accurate recap of your position last night?
Yeah, I think that, I said something to the effect of 30 to 40% of movers' greatest activism was moving. And that's it. That I don't consider just essentially, coming here, moving and then voting to be a sufficient level of activism. In many cases, people signed up for the Free State Project where it said you would exert the fullest practical effort. And that doesn't sound like the fullest practical effort to me.
All right, so we can continue in that because I did post a poll asking people, well, what are you doing? Because my position was that, Mark, you don't know what people are doing because you don't know all 2,000 or however many thousand people that there are here, so you wouldn't have the slightest clue. We'll see what they said coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Being self-reliant is about being prepared and to do what you need to have your own source of renewable energy. Portable Solar LLC offers the most powerful EMP-hardened solar system on the market that is transportable from place to place, and the best part, it's very affordable. Contact them at portablesolarllc.com or call for details at 972-575-8875. Sol Arc EMP-hardened solar generator, energy insurance for your family or business. Call Portable Solar LLC today or go to portablesolarllc.com to check out their patent-pending technology.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial on in toll-free to bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. As Johnson is driving my taste buds crazy over here with these salt and vinegar chicken wings that he's munching on during the breaks.
It's the only thing that, that this one grocery store, local grocery. Well, I don't know how wide Hannaford is.
Hannaford is an international chain. They have different brands. So Del Hayes Group, which is the owner of Hannaford, last I checked, owns other companies like, I think down in Florida, they're called Sweet Bay. You may remember they were opening up right around when we left.
Cash and Carry was a product that they purchased at one point.
They turned them into Sweet Bay.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's an international corporation headquartered out of like Belgium or someplace in Europe.
This particular flavor of wing only seems to. I've only ever seen it with them. I mean, I'm sure. I don't even know if there's a big chain restaurant called Buffalo Wild Wings, and I don't know. I don't even know if they have a.
They have a salt and vinegar.
And they have a lot of flavors of wings. But I like it because it doesn't. I don't need any kind of a sauce like no buffalo or.
You just eat them dry.
So it's just just you can eat them dry, and it's good low carb.
Not as messy.
Yeah.
Smells great. Anyway, it's a good thing we don't have smell-o-vision to be driving other people crazy, too.
I can't smell it.
Well, you got beat up in jail, so that's why. You can't smell anything.
It used to be that my sniffer didn't work as well.
Septum. Right?
I had that fixed by an operation, and I can smell much better now.
Okay.
I just don't smell the wings.
Not good enough, apparently. Anyway, tell me about Simbi.
Well, you don't need to have a perfectly straight septum to go on to Simbi.com. It's a slick and easy-to-use marketplace where you can trade your talents for other people's services and abilities. You don't need money. You can forget the old economy. This is your economy. It's Simbi.com. And you won't believe the diversity of services on Simbi. Hundreds of thousands of people are acting within the symbiotic economy. Go get an account at Simbi.com. Take a look around. Post your services. Check out other people's services. It's amazing how many different things are going on there. Simbi.com. I got a little piece of audio produced that I needed, and it was great. And, I didn't pay anything for it. But I had done services for other people, too. Simbi, Simbi.com.
All right, so let's see. You can, of course, bring up anything that you want. We'll get back into the spike in Japanese women who are embracing Bitcoin, which is interesting because Bitcoin has historically been a very male-centric thing, and it's great to see that some ladies are getting involved. We'll talk a little bit more about why that is. Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio here tonight. And Johnson, I'm glad you're here for this conversation. You having been here in New Hampshire now for, about almost 5 years?
5 years, yep.
You came back in, I think, mid to late 2012, September-ish or something like that in 2012.
Yep, you're a Johnny-come-lately. We've been here 10.
Well, but he's newer than Melanie, who's only been here for maybe a year to 2 years.
Older, yeah.
2 years. And Melanie was here last night when we were talking about this toward the end of the show. The sort of your frustration, I guess, Mark, with what you perceive to be the lack of visible activism from what you believe to be a good portion of the people who have moved here as part of, say, the Free State Project, which claims to have 2,000 participants, libertarian types who've moved to New Hampshire. And I was saying that, well, first of all, you don't really know because, number one, you don't know all 2,000 of them. You probably only know maybe 10% at most. or are in relative touch with 10% of them. So you don't know super majority of them, but further, those that you do know, you likely aren't asking them what they're up to, and if they're not doing something that's incredibly news generating or visible, you probably aren't going to see anything about it. And so I can understand the frustration.
Hold on. So you're suggesting that I have a perception, and that's true and obvious. Like it's not an insightful statement that you've made. It's obvious that I have a perception. But the question is my perception any good? Is it
accurate?
Does it give accuracy and perceptions? I mean, by their definition, they are inaccurate always.
Okay.
But the question is, how far does my perception deviate from what would be sort of accurate? And I asked a question here, like on Facebook. You put this on Facebook.
I put a poll up on the Porcupines group, which is a relatively open group. I think it's not public, but anybody can join it basically.
Yep.
And so there's probably 1,000 or so people in that group, but how many of them, or 1,500 supposedly, but how many of them actually regularly read it? There's no way. Once again, Facebook doesn't give you any kind of like statistics on who's using your group. So even though it shows you 1,500 members, it would be nice if you could go in and see, oh, well, only 10% of the membership have actually checked the group in the last month.
Yep.
You don't get that information, so we really have no idea.
Yeah, indeed. And so what happened on this poll was the vast majority of votes are things like agorism.
The question was, what kind of activism are you doing these? Well, the full thing I wrote was, Mark Edge says on air he doesn't see movers doing activism in New Hampshire. I tell him he doesn't ask them what they're doing, so he doesn't know, as not everyone wants to do public activism. What kind of activism are you doing these days, like within the last month? Please add options to the poll. And I did not add anything to the poll in the beginning to give anyone suggestions.
People put stuff up.
It was just a blank poll, and they added.
Number one. Agorism.
Not activism, in my opinion.
Agorism is not activism, to my opinion, either. But these people consider it to be, so therefore they are, at this point, putting the stamp of agreement on my statement.
Now, what is agorism for people that don't?
Agorism is working within the sort of black or gray economy, avoiding taxes, and some people will say that it requires the stipulation of doing it for the purpose of bringing down the government. Now, agorists can be very, very slippery on this particular point.
So the intention, they're saying, is what matters. So if you're selling marijuana in the black market,
right, then you're just a black marketeer.
On your own, just because you want to sell marijuana, then that's not agorism. But it is agorism if you have the intention of ending the states.
That's just what some of them will say all the time. Some of them will say it none of the time. And then some of them will switch back and forth in order to confuse the conversation when you say that agorism is an activism. So the next thing they say is avoiding most taxes. Again, basically agorism.
I don't consider that to be activism. Avoiding taxes is good for you personally, to enrich yourself and family and be able to have more money to spend.
The top two things on your list are now not activism that people claim to be doing activism. And
well, that's our impression of it, but they obviously believe it's activism.
It's my statement, right? Like, I made a statement, you interpreted the statement, they put it up there, and they simply agree with my statement, except that we might have a different definition of what agorism is. And then I go into the thread, and I think it's important. That's why I'm prefacing this. And then, again, refusing to accept benefits from government.
Well, hold on. You skipped a couple actual activist things here. Number 3 is cryptocurrency outreach.
Awesome.
That's been happening a lot here in the Keene area. The Seacoast, Derek J. and his boyfriend Stephen are out there doing a great job.
Locals are doing it here.
Out there.
Yep.
So that, in my opinion, is great activism, because not only are you undermining the state by getting people to leave the state's currency, you're also helping to, as long as the price keeps going up, enrich the average folks who embrace the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency.
So interestingly, number 4 is emailing government officials, which I can see
that
right
counts.
Right off
activism.
the top. 2 of the people who answered, I can just see off the top, the 2 of the people that answered agorism, which would, to my mind, exclude spending any time on government officials.
No, that's not true. Agorism is just working in the marketplace.
Many agorists would tell you that voting is aggression. And
well, there's different people who believe in agorism.
Believe, and that's a really good term to use, because it's just this mishmash of thought processes that no one seems to be able to get together on. And I'd love anybody to help me hone my opinion on this. 855-450-FREE if you disagree, or agree for that matter. 855-450-3733. So I get into a conversation. It's not an argument.
Well, hold on. Let's go go down the list
Do
here.
we have to do all of them? There's
Yeah.
like 30 of them.
No, they're not going to go all
Then
the
go
way
quickly.
here, but at least the top 10. So refusing to accept any benefit from government, I would say that is not activism.
Not activism.
Creating positive community interactions with us and espousing liberty by being examples of voluntary action, i.e., community service. Yeah, you could say that.
I think community service is activism.
Because you can have an effect on things. So, for instance, I am a board member of Cheshire TV. I was there tonight, and that is a volunteer thing that I do, and it is a way for me to also, at the same time, protect freedom of speech. So that there is an activism component because I can introduce my libertarian ideas into that particular
I'm a
organization.
volunteer firefighter, and it raises my esteem in the community.
There's more coming up here in moments, and you can share your thoughts on what is and what is not activism. You can also bring up anything on Free Talk Live.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Homeowners have much more to worry about than just making their mortgage payment. One of our biggest expenses can be when unexpected repair bills hit us at home. Can you afford to repair or replace your home heating system? What about when your air conditioning stops working this summer, or worse, a major plumbing problem or large appliance that just stops working? Well, with National Home, you can say goodbye to repair bills. That's right, if you own a home, you could stop paying for these costly repairs. Best of all, call now to get your home protected and 1 month of repair coverage for free. Just call 800-887-3022. Simply call our 24/7 repair hotline and pay nothing for covered repairs. Get total protection for your home's major appliances and systems so you have no more costly repair bills. Just call 800-887-3022 and never pay for repairs again. Get your home protected against costly repair bills right now. Call 800-887-3022. That's 800-887-3022. 800-887-3022.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Just dial on in here toll-free. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. It's Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio here tonight, following up on a conversation that Mark, you and I and Melanie had last night about the activism community here, which you seem like you're kind of burned out about, Mark.
I don't know why you say that. Burned out. I believe I am looking in a
jaded.
Realistic...
How about jaded?
Well, I mean, jaded would suggest that I am looking at something unrealistically.
Cynical?
Would it not?
Cynical?
Cynical is something besides realism, isn't it? Okay. I mean, how about you? Are you looking at it in an optimistic, a Pollyannish,
No,
I
think I'm quite realistic.
Fashion?
I'm quite realistic about it. I think that look, when I moved here, I might have been a little unrealistic. I thought when I moved here, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be around a bunch of activists who are as active as I am. And I'm pretty active.
Yep.
Turns out most of them aren't that active, but that's understandable because people are busy with their own lives. They don't have a job that is also activism, basically. They have to have like a regular job.
You step away from your job that is activism to do activism that is, probably more focused on New Hampshire than Free Talk Live would be, but probably less efficient in sort of bringing people to the ideas of liberty. In order to make up for activists who don't do New Hampshire-centric activism, Free Talk Live hosts like you and I and Daryl should probably focus our activism on reaching people with the ideas of liberty and bringing people to New Hampshire, and then those people probably should focus on things within the state to get things done. That seems like the most efficient allocation of resources.
Well, you don't
and
get
energy.
to allocate other
No,
people
you don't.
as resources.
Like, that's
so
totally,
they do what they want, and I do what I want. And
Agreed.
So again, I think it's quite realistic to expect that most people that come here aren't going to be in the top 10% of
Well, they couldn't
activists.
necessarily.
Right.
I said that I defined doing nothing as a person who spent less than a half an hour on activism in each 30-day period.
Well, that's technically not doing nothing. That's actually doing some activism.
But that is also parsing words. Like, you did a good job of getting me to define things like nothing and other sort of terms I was using, and I can see how if you want to get very, very literal, which you do when you're losing, if you want to get very, very literal, then that's
there's nothing to lose here for me. I'm not the one going out on a limb and making a claim about people who I don't even know.
You're making the opposite claim. You're defending a claim. You're defending basically...
No, I'm saying you don't know. I'm saying that I believe that people are doing what they can, but I have no idea what that means for them. It could mean just going out and voting and,
Shall I give another new piece of information, or do you want to continue with your list of the activism on the poll?
Let's finish the list of the activists. So I asked a poll about who's doing what to kind of get an idea of what people consider to be activism, what they're up to these days.
And so far we're at
Mark
about half
know.
of the things probably aren't even activism.
Right, yeah, a lot of the things they're saying here, like agorism, avoiding taxes, refusing to accept benefits from the government, not really activism. Posting, next on the list, it looks like a dozen people. So we didn't give the numbers here. So if this poll, which was asked in a group of around 1,500 people, but again, how many people regularly use it? Probably no more than, a couple hundred or a few hundred. Anyway, so it's been up for only a day. This has been about 24 hours that this poll has been up at this point. So the number one response, which was agorism, got 31 plus votes, or about 35 votes. 21 below that of avoiding most taxes, 20-ish for cryptocurrency outreach, which is actually activism. Emailing government officials got early 20s. That's actually activism. Going on, posting taxation is theft all over the internet. That from about a dozen respondents. I want to say that's not really that much activism. I mean, posting on the internet I consider to be one of the weakest forms of activism. It's like that's what the people can do who don't live in New Hampshire, is post things on the internet. There's a lot more that needs to be done.
I would agree that there's a great deal that needs to be done. I think that taxation as theft has become such a strong and powerful, recruitment line that in and of itself it's useful. I'm willing to call this activism as long as no one calls it like amazing activism, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to affect the change in society that you wish to see, then generally you can consider that to be activism, but I don't really consider it to be particularly impressive or important.
Agreed.
I wonder how many are here that would define themselves as pacifists. Like
in this
not
poll?
pacifists, but not pacifists with a C, but with
Passive?
PSS. Yes, pacifists. In other words, the opposite of an activist. I just like to be here around the libertarians and let it flow over me.
Let's move on here. Also, creating Liberty Media. Now, that was one of the ones I added later on as something that I was doing.
I checked that one.
And about 9 other people also checked that. Civil disobedience, that's obviously activism. Civil disobedience, got about a dozen folks on that one. And, of course, the 420 activism just happened within not quite a month ago, but pretty recently.
Yep.
That happened
Nobody
in
got
Concord.
arrested.
And there were, dozens and dozens of people out there, but many of them were New Hampshire natives who came out to join us on that. Cop Block, which is still alive and well here. I would say not as well as it has been, but it's still alive. There's still a group of active cop blockers in Keene, and there's another guy out and a couple of other folks
Cop
out
Chasers,
in the rest of the state. That's a competing group. That's the New England Cop
but
Chasers.
isn't that the active group in Keene?
The active guys in Keene are active with both New England Cop Chasers and Cop Block. So that's definitely activism. State House activism is another one of the ones I added later on, and about, let's see, 8 or 9 people indicated that they've done that recently. So flyering after that's another good form of activism. So there's several things here that are actual activism on this particular list. There are definitely people out there that are doing activism. Do we want to see more? Yeah, of course. But that's why we need to get tens of thousands of people to move here, so then you can have, of the 10,000 or 20,000 people, 10% of them say, so a good 1,000 to 2,000 solid activists who are out there doing something on a weekly basis or as often as they possibly can. That's why we need those numbers. 2,000's not enough. We got to have 20,000. We need to get more than that.
Yeah, I kind of feel
this
like
is a long time process.
To some extent, it's the numbers that I feel sort of misled by generally. If I believed that there were 300 or 400 activists in the state, like I did when I moved here, but
there really weren't that
2006.
many here. We were like the 150th or whatever, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
People were darn active back then.
Sure.
They were getting things done.
Yeah.
People that moved at that time were doing stuff.
There's still people doing stuff. They're just terrible at publicizing it,
Please,
which is one of the reasons why I moved here.
So I'm so sick of you saying this over and over again. They're just not very good at telling what they're doing.
They're terrible at it.
Please allow me
They hide it.
Let me read a little bit here. Hiding it's good. And to some extent. I mean, for certain types of activism, that's the sort of thing you should do. So I'm having a conversation back and forth with a gal on this same thread. Her name's Teresa. She's kind of purporting activism as a solution. She says something to the effect of, she'd love to move to New Hampshire. She's busy.
That's right. There's, by the way, a lot of people in this group who don't live in New Hampshire. There are other people who live in New Hampshire, but they're not libertarian activists. So we don't even know what percentage of the 1,500.
Right. It would be really great if people who, I don't know how your thing was phrased, but I frankly don't care the kind of activism that somebody outside of New Hampshire is doing. If you want to call that fine. If you're doing agorism outside of the state.
Okay, so what's this lady say? I don't know.
Basically that she's up for agorism and that she wishes.
So that's doing marketplace stuff.
She wishes she could move and that there were more successes in New Hampshire. I'm like, there have been lots of successes in ANH, but we could double the amount of people. If we could double the amount of people involved,
we'd double the success
to about 400 out of the 4,600 people that are in state. And so there's 2,000 people that are listed on the Free State Project's mover list.
Mm-hmm.
Many people have moved and aren't part of the Free State Project and haven't signed up. And many people haven't even indicated that they've moved. And then there's another 2,600 that are in-state friends. So that's where I get the 4,600.
But that doesn't mean they're active.
That's where I get the 4,600 number from. And I say that there's 4,600 people in state. We'd crush the Democrats and Republicans. It's that easy. just more people being involved. And then I asked Paul Best, who's the president of the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance.
A very great activist group that does a whole lot, and they've got great volunteers.
Run by a great activist and many great activists on the board. I asked, how far are my numerical estimates here? Now, Paul's a kind man. He doesn't say, boy, you've way overestimated the amount of people who are involved in the political process, Mark. But understand, I'm going to read this verbatim, and then maybe you'll hear the same thing I heard in it. Shall I get started on it?
If you can tease something or not.
He basically says that, it would be really great if the numbers that you're talking about came in play, but my assumptions of 200 people already in play, way out of whack.
He's saying your assumption was too high at 200.
Yes.
But now, is he talking specifically about the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance?
We'll go ahead and read that.
More coming up here in moments, and I haven't read this, so I'm as new to this as the listeners. More coming up. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple, one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Kenai-Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 6, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,292 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,879. Antiwar.com reports the Department of Justice has charged 25-year-old Reality L. Winner with illegally removing top-secret intelligence from a facility and sharing that intelligence with the news media in relation to the story from The Intercept on the NSA document involving the Russian election hacks. Reality, who was born Sarah, was working as a contractor for Pluribus International and is accused of having given the document in question to The Intercept. The Intercept appears to have inadvertently gotten her caught by contacting the government about the document and showing them a picture of it. The picture showed the document had a particular fold in the paper, which officials concluded were able to trace back to a specific printed version of the document. Investigation into the 6 people involved in printing the document revealed Winner had been in contact with The Intercept around the time it changed hands. The Intercept also reportedly shared the postmark on the document they got, revealing it was sent from Winner's home. There was a report of a potential political motive for the leaks, as Winner is said to have called Trump a piece of crap on her Facebook page. Officials were quick to denounce Winner as having violated the trust she was given in handling the document. The criminal complaint suggests she could face 10 years in prison for the leaks, and given the Trump administration's eagerness to show itself cracking down on such leaks, they will likely be pushing hard for the biggest sentence they can get. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports National Geographic said professional rock climber Alex Honnold has become the first person to scale the 3,000-foot El Capitan granite wall of Yosemite National Park without ropes or safety gear. The society said Honnold completed what may be the greatest feat of pure rock climbing in the history of the sport. It took Honnold nearly 4 hours to climb the iconic natural structure. Honnold began the equipmentless climb, a style known as free soloing, at 5:32 a.m. on Saturday after he ate his standard breakfast of oats, flaxseed, chia seeds, and blueberries. Honnold told National Geographic, "With free soloing, obviously I know that I'm in danger, but feeling fearful while I'm up there is not helpful to me in any way. It's only hindering my performance, so I just set it aside and leave it be." Honnold trained in China, Europe, Morocco, and the United States to prepare for the climb. A team of filmmakers accompanied Honnold and will use footage of the climb in an upcoming National Geographic documentary film feature. Professional rock climber Tommy Caldwell told National Geographic, "This is the moon landing of free soloing." Honnold described the climb up the steep wall as walking up glass. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports San Francisco has issued subpoenas to Uber and Lyft for a broad scope of records on driving and business practices as part of an investigation to determine whether the ride-sharing service companies have become a public nuisance. City Attorney Dennis Herrera said on Monday he was seeking records to investigate whether Uber and Lyft fail to adequately serve poor neighborhoods and the disabled and whether their drivers create hazards on the road. Herrera said the subpoenas sought 4 years of records from the companies, which are based in San Francisco and have an estimated 45,000 total drivers in the city. The sweeping request includes hours and miles logged by drivers, driver incentives, traffic infractions, and city zip codes visited by the drivers. The subpoena sets up San Francisco and Uber for yet another legal battle, as the two are already locked in a fight over the city's demand for drivers' names and addresses. Herrera sued Uber last month to compel the company to comply with the data request, which Uber has said is an invasion of driver privacy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Fact Zone. I'm Brooke Alvarez. Our top story tonight, Congress has passed a bill naming incomprehensible shouting the official language of the United States.
I'm sick and tired of listening to people who say that Americans should not know what to know, and that's not what it is and what the policy is. The red-blooded American is what we have in this day and age.
Under the new law, public school classes will only be taught in incomprehensible shouting, and government agencies will no longer offer translators to non-shouting speakers. In addition, a new test will be added to the naturalization process, whereby potential immigrants must prove they have a working knowledge of incomprehensible shouting before they're granted citizenship. The movement started in 2008 with a grassroots organization called Americans for Doing It Right, because we got it now, because who else, right? Come on!
This is the Onion News Network, a tomahawk of honesty in the skull of lies.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You can dial in toll-free and join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. We are here tonight in studio with you. It's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
With Sour Grapes Mark, who is here to talk about how disappointed he is in some of the lack of activism.
Remember when the Free State Project? I remember.
So Mark, you were sharing with us, or you're about to share with us, a conversation you had with the president of the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. You had made a statement to the effect of something about 400 activists.
If we could double the amount of people involved in political activism here in New Hampshire, I said to about 400, suggesting that doubling.
There are about 200.
About 200. I was trying to be generous.
Sure, that'd be about 10% of the purported movers for the Free State Project.
Yeah, it would be less than 10%. The doubled number, the 400, would be less than the
true,
not the movers, but the in-state number.
Okay,
including Friends. So the Free State Project has trotted out this number, 4,600 Friends and
well, now
movers.
Friends of the Free State Project are just people who said, "I like this." That the Friends aren't people who are pledged to do activism, are they?
They took the time to go on the website and sign up as a friend. I think they signed the pledge, but if they didn't sign the pledge, they at least saw the pledge.
No. It's not the same thing as people who've moved across the country to
all I
activism.
can say is, the organization, which I prefer not to name, the Free State Project, we pretty much support the Shire Society here, which is much more decentralized, but we have no numbers.
The Shire Society is a decentralized. There's no board of directors. It's just hey, you care about liberty? You should move to New Hampshire. Here, you can sign this declaration. It's like a declaration of independence, but we're not collecting any official records on you.
Consequently, the FSP is trotting out this number, the 4,600 number. I have heard people, from the FSP or close to the FSP use this number, 4,600. So this 400 would be 10% of the people that are claimed to be in state and at least active enough to go on a website and click something.
That ain't saying much.
No, it isn't, and that's kind of the problem. Right? Like, that's what my frustration, where my frustration lies is that, well, we took a pledge and we said we were going to do stuff. Anyway, I was saying there's about 200 people that are active, and then Paul Best says, if we had 400 dedicated, even better, dedicated, educated, and savvy political activists in New Hampshire. Now, he doesn't address how many we have. We'd have more than the Dems and Republicans put together. I think any person with the in-the-system experience would agree it would be a complete game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's fair to say that most of the political accomplishments that we've seen on any given issue were spearheaded by maybe half a dozen people or fewer.
Yep. I believe that. And we've had some amazing success stories here.
Yeah.
We've had wonderful political successes with people being elected to office and then stopping big government stuff from being passed, even passing, some repeals of existing big government stuff. So, there's been some amazing, unprecedented successes. And he's right. A small, dedicated crew of people can make an impact here in New Hampshire.
Imagine if that half a dozen people that worked on those important issues that we've had throughout the year were, I don't know.
He was saying there was different dozens on the different issues.
Half a dozen. No, he said half a dozen.
On different issues. He wasn't saying it was all the same half dozen.
Any given issue was about a half a dozen
but it's
people
not all
working
the
on
same
it.
half dozen.
But in many cases it was. Some of those same people.
Some of them, sure.
So what if, I don't know, in this fantastic world where there's 4,600 Free Staters, and then how many Shire Society participants and how many other people that are libertarians in the state, what if 24, 36?
Yeah, for sure. The more the merrier.
People
Are you playing
were
football
involved.
again?
What's that?
Are you playing football again?
I'm just pointing out that it's just...
Yeah, that's what we need. We need more people up here so we can get those people.
It's crushingly demoralizing that there are 4,600 people and you can't get 1% of them to participate.
Well, you need to get used to it. That's just the way it goes.
There you go. See, you saying I'm jaded...
Yeah, you just said you're demoralized.
That's demoralized by what appear to be demoralizing numbers. You want me to be optimistic about crushingly demoralizing numbers.
You need to be optimistic, not about what's happening now, about what's possible for the future. So we've had all this amazing success.
We've had 10 years.
It's just getting started, Mark. This is a lifetime project. The idea here is liberty in our lifetime. Lifetime for a lot of us is still ways to go. It takes a long time to change politics. It takes a long time to change the system. And if these few dozens of people have had the impact that is so significant that has already set New Hampshire apart from the rest of the other states, I agree with you. Imagine what it would be like if we had a few hundred dedicated activists here. And that's what unfortunately, it's going to take thousands of movers to get a few hundred dedicated activists. That's just how life is. That's how this goes.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
Yes, it is.
Imagine for a second I could get together a few of these newly minted Bitcoin millionaires that are out there, the Dash millionaires, the Ethereum millionaires, to purchase, I don't know, a decommissioned...
here we go, Johnson. Get ready for this. Have you heard this before?
Live on the ocean,
Go ahead, Mark.
Imagine if you could get one Bitcoin millionaire activist to pay a few people to actually go out and do activism. Done!
That's true. That's happened.
But people always want to do the activism they want to do, and they want to get paid for it. There are people that do activism for pay. They're called lobbyists.
Liberty Lobby.
Yeah, Liberty Lobby LLC. But Liberty Lobby LLC stands in the face of many dozens of lobbyists at the State House.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job.
Do so much.
Go ahead with your idea. You said you wanted to wait for Daryl, but I think Johnson is a fine person to do this idea with. So. Get a load of this, Johnson.
A cruise ship, a decommissioned cruise ship. You know, there's plenty of them for sale out there. They're for sale for between tens of millions of dollars on up. I think you can get. Yeah, I'd have to look at the websites, but there's plenty of them out there available for a great deal of. It's going to take some money to do. You get a decommissioned cruise ship, one that it's just not as snazzy as the old ones were, and you do a refurb on it, you outfit it. You take it around, you get some people. Look, wouldn't it be awesome to have an apartment in a cruise ship, and maybe several of these Bitcoin millionaire types could have this apartment, and then you could have little berths for sale or rent to other libertarian types, and you have your libertarian paradise right now on the water. There are libertarian communities currently. They are cruise ships. They exist, and they are private. They are private societies.
So, have you heard, Ian, of the movie Speed 2?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Speed 2?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the main premise of Speed 2 was versus Speed 1?
It was on a boat.
Right, it was on a boat. So this sounds
Willem
like
Dafoe.
Gulf Chile 2. And just like Speed 2,
you have
just
to explain
as
that.
bad.
You have to explain the joke, because not everybody knows what Gulf Chile.
Oh, they could Google it. And there's a Wikipedia entry where
Sarah
they can
doesn't Google, though, so think about our people who don't Google.
Sarah isn't concerned about it unless it's
Chili was
unless
a scam.
it's Galt's Chili Traffic Edition.
Galt's was you had to buy into this land
He bought some land
with a bunch of libertarians, and somebody ran off with some money, apparently.
Yep, they did. I would not be involved in something that people would be running off with money for. I mean, if I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Do they have cruise ships? I'm asking a question, gentlemen.
Does who have a cruise ship?
Do cruise ships
Cruise
exist?
companies have cruise ships,
On
yes.
the planet Earth, are there currently circling dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of cruise ships?
Yeah,
Okay, cruise ships exist.
Yep.
I'm not talking about spaceships.
No.
We're not talking about setting up in the asteroid belt.
You could do this.
Okay, so
You could.
and
I don't know
those
if anybody's
cruise
going to
ships-
buy into it.
Are
but-
those cruise ships? I don't need that many. There are
yes, you
apparently
do.
4,600 people that were willing to move to.
How
pick
many
up their
people are you going to
lives.
need to staff the cruise ship?
How many people staff cruise ships currently?
I don't know, but it seems like a lot. When I was,
It's possible to run this business, is it not?
it's possible. How probable it is another question. How likely you'll be successful at even raising the money to do this is another
Raising
question.
money is what I do for a living.
Uh-huh.
I'm building an orphanage right now in Uganda. Am I
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, and you're scraping to try to get a couple $1,000s.
I'm not scraping. Everything's going fine. We just sent another money, some more money.
Okay, that's
I
good
told-
to know.
It took me 2
More
days.
coming up here, 855, 450, free Talk Live.
Thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958 9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees, no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up, too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days, free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to AgoristHosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST, hosting.com.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can join us on the radio waves by bringing up whatever is on your mind. Coming up, Johnson is going to tell us about how much it costs to keep somebody in a prison cell in California. You might be shocked at how expensive. I mean, you probably already knew it was a lot of money, but it's a lot more than you might have thought. We'll get into that coming up here in moments. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us on the radio, is 855-450. Free like freedom. Here on Free Talk Live, Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio. And Mark, you were talking about fundraising, and I was teasing you, saying that you want to raise money for a cruise ship. Well, you're having enough of a time raising money to help build an orphanage, which is going to be a lot less in total cost than buying a cruise ship.
It sure is a lot less.
And
it's about $22,000 total to build this orphanage.
But you've got some good news. You have been successful in chunks in raising this. You haven't raised it all at once.
Well, I don't want to send the money over all at once.
That makes
either.
sense. You want to see progress. Make sure that it's not, going up someone's nose.
You can. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So I can see I saw a foundation go in. First, I saw 60,000 bricks. Before I asked my listeners for anything, I saw a man put together 60,000 mud-made, kiln-fired bricks. And I'm like, okay, we're talking to somebody who's dedicated. I sent over a preacher man to make sure that everything's on the legit up and up. Some guy who'd never met him before in his life, and now that preacher man's involved.
Was he the only one who could ever reach you?
And so the project,
wasn't that the son of the preacher man?
It was the son of a preacher man.
The man who's sort of running the orphanage is young enough to be the son of the preacher man. So, anyway, before I asked for any money, I made sure everything was good and checked out. Now we currently have a foundation that's in place. We have some concrete stairs that are going in. We have half of the wall up to the second floor. We need to complete, we need more cement, more concrete. I'm not even sure.
Did anyone ever answer the question about why they were putting the bricks sideways?
Why
opposed to like
it
brick
looked different
style?
from the other?
Yeah.
No, I never saw. I never asked that question. Why they made?
Well, I thought it was asked on the Facebook forum. I brought it up, and I was just wondering if anybody ever was like, "Yeah, we do it because of this." Like,
well, no, they didn't.
Okay.
I couldn't say. The guy, I don't know. I don't know their building techniques
it looked
in Africa.
straight. Well, it was strange because it was right next to a building where it had
looked
normal
different.
bricks,
It
like
looked
normal.
different.
It was like a
Normally
normal
laid
brick.
bricks.
Like by normal brick, I mean like where the bricks either have holes in them, because a lot of bricks have holes in them, you know, like because these are, the homemade kiln-fired bricks or whatever.
They are.
So they don't have some bricks have either a little, literally a round hole for rebar to go through,
like
right?
3 of them. I don't know what it's for, but it certainly makes it so you need less brick material.
To do them sideways.
To make them.
Right.
If they have holes in them. So I don't know what the answer is as to why they did that. But anyway, we now have raised the $2,500 that we needed to get started, bring the workmen back, get some more supplies. That should be begun in the morning. Now there's 7 hours ahead of us, so they'll be doing all that stuff while we're still sleeping. And I do have an interview, hopefully, that I'll get done tomorrow with Mr. Saul, the preacher man. And
is that going to be on Edgington Post?
On the Edgington Post,
okay,
yep.
Which people can subscribe to over at our feeds. You go to feeds.freetalklive.com. If you're already subscribed to our main podcast, the Edgington Post is delivered as part of that. But if you wanted to just specifically subscribe to Edgington Post, you may do that. Just go to feeds.freetalklive.com. So you raised some money thanks to the help of Cell 411 and Jax.io. They were doubling, or I guess matching twice, so tripling effectively everyone's donation.
Yep. So every donation that is brought in, every $1 that's brought in, they both give $1, thus making it $3, tripling.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
Yep. So that's where we're at right now. I still need to get another $1,500 in order to get the roof on completely.
So you're still raising money then? We still need some help.
Yeah, and then then there's got to be plumbing, then there's got to be electric, there's got to be some other things that go in place here. I mean, currently these orphans, there's about 40 of them. They're sleeping in a dark room that has no electricity. They're laying on the floor, head to toe. That's where they're sleeping.
Sounds like prison.
Well, I mean, they don't have a lot of choices.
This is a big upgrade.
They're happy. By the way, every time I get a video, and the way they send the videos, it's very difficult to post them and that sort of thing. But every time I get a video, they're singing and happy. They just got some school books. These kids were elated to get school books, pens, and paper.
Are you having trouble posting the videos? You can ask me about that, and I'll see if I can help you.
Yeah,
you haven't told me what the problem
I haven't
is.
tried. I mean, I get such a quantity of videos.
I see.
And
pick the best one, and you should probably share that on Facebook or something like that.
On the Free Talk Live page or on mine or what?
Wherever. Free Talk Live's going to get it more views.
You think?
There's 90,000 people who like the page. If you get 1% of them, then that's something.
Yeah, but they throttle pages. I
understand that. Facebook sucks.
Yeah, I can put it on our page and then share it through mine, I guess.
Anyway, hope.freetalklive.com is where you can go. Your donations will be tripled. Thanks to the generosity.
I just need to raise $500, and then I've got my $1,500.
There you go.
And
that's doable.
Yeah,
that's
very
doable.
Very
so,
doable.
that's within your purview.
People are generally giving. My donations are coming in at $10, $25, $100.
Right.
And I have had one guy, God bless him, $500.
That's awesome. Now that's doable. You're doing a great job with that, and thanks to all of our listeners who've stepped up to help out, and of course Jax and Cell 411 for stepping up to triple.
Obviously,
they're
giving significantly more because they're
That's an incredibly generous thing, and it helps to get people to donate if they know their money's going to be tripled in value when they do it. That's awesome. But you're likely going to have more of a tough time raising money to buy a used cruise ship repair the cruise ship, hire a crew of people. I mean, Johnson, have you ever been on a cruise before?
No, I have not.
I was on when I was like maybe 12, 13, somewhere in that range. My parents took me and my sister on a couple of cruises over maybe like a couple, 2 or 3 years. And there are a lot of people on that cruise ship. Now, obviously,
you wouldn't need as many.
You could pare down the crew, no doubt about it. But you're still going to need however many people that need to be there to like run the engine compartment and be able to fix stuff that breaks and, actually navigate the ship and, all the running of the ship crew probably still needs to stay pretty on, par. You would be able to cut from the service crew, because as if this is just going to be a place where people live. They don't have to have servants running here and there and getting drinks for you or whatever. So you could probably cut down on the wait staff, for instance. You're probably still going to need to have
and the house cleaners.
Yes, you probably need to still have some cleaning. But so yeah, you'd be able to cut it down.
You're going to need
but
people to fix the boat.
You're talking about millions of dollars here, right?
In personnel costs?
I don't know. All of it.
I'm sure all of it, yeah. So it's not like I'm reinventing the wheel by any stretch of the imagination talking about a cruise ship where libertarians, and it would probably have to be ones that are of means, right? Mm-hmm. They wouldn't necessarily have to be rich to do this, but you could.
Yeah, you pretty much would.
You could have a berth and do, at probably a pretty reasonable cost.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I haven't been able to crunch the numbers, but I'm guessing that you probably currently you can go on a cruise for $1,000 a week for a sort of interior berth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think the average person spends $4,000 a month on their rent?
No, I don't. Okay. But I think that they probably that many
people are pretty wealthy to afford that.
Many people are spending $1,500 a month. So, and this would provide electricity and those other things. So I'm figuring, that probably gets you to $2,000.
So you've got
to probably double what they're used to spending. But
you've got to find rich libertarians.
I don't think rich is the right term.
You've got to find pretty wealthy libertarians to be able to bankroll this first and foremost, and then more wealthy libertarians to be able to live on the thing. You're saying this is going to be easy? We'll get your opinions here if you want to weigh in. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, it's Free Talk Live.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Ralph, remember when you said you were going to start paying more attention to your health and now you're eating potato chips?
Just a few.
A few, okay, but you should be eating Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness. Go to superberries.com/radio. And right now we get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus we can save $4 at checkout.
Wow, look at all the benefits of these berries.
I know, Ralph, I know.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Images of destruction are flooding in, and the worst isn't over. Experts warn that Hurricane Ashley could strike as many as 8 bars throughout the day. Her Cinco de Mayo plans, combined with all the recent drama with Scott, have created perfect conditions for Hurricane Ashley to cause a lot of damage this afternoon and well into the evening. Here's a look at Ashley's path of destruction so far. At 11 a.m., she landed on Foster Street, moving from O'Murphy's to the Blue Iguana, hitting the place that does the mini pizzas the hardest. And she's expected to merge with other high-pressure systems, including BFFs Jessica and Christy, within the next hour. Forecasters predict that some areas could see all 3 grown women obnoxiously shouting, wearing sombreros and fake mustaches as early as 5 p.m. The whirlwind might not die down until close to 2:30 a.m. when she's expected to be kicked out of a reggae bar called the Lion's Den for saying something racist. Our thoughts are with everyone in her path.
This is the Onion News Network.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No-Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, you bring up anything you want right here at 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
And, of course, you can join us online anytime. Just head on over to freetalklive.com. We do have the Free Talk Live AMP program, which is a way for you to get behind the show for $5 a month and help Free Talk Live get on more radio stations around the country and bring new internet listeners on board. It's $5 a month. You get cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the regular podcast commercials that our normal podcast does. And we've also got the AMP-only Facebook group. Plus, if you're on the Shire forum at forum.shiresociety.com, then you can get an AMP badge that will make you obviously a Free Talk Live amplifier because you get a cool little badge over your user picture over at Forum. Actually, you can go to forum.freetalklive.com. That'll take you to the Free Talk Live section of that forum. But anyway, go to the AMP page at amp.freetalklive.com. Get signed up with Bitcoin or PayPal or one of the big credit cards over at AMP, amp.freetalklive.com. Let's bring Troy into this conversation about Mark's fantasy ship, his fantasy Liberty ship that he's revealing for the first time on the air here, I believe.
Ian talks about a program where it takes liberty in your lifetime. I propose a program where it takes liberty in a couple of years.
All right, so Troy, what do you want to share?
Brilliant.
Whoa, hang on a second there. We got you're way overblown. I think our board op might have you turned up a little bit too high. That's probably not your fault. Try again.
It's a brilliant idea,
yep.
Mark. Now, I guess if you had entry points of I assume the 80-20 principle, you could have 20% of the people pay 80% of the money toward it.
Yep, probably.
You need to, and this, there's a lot of people making money in Bitcoin and Ethereum and even Steam and things like that. Everything's going up right now, and they should be able to find some libertarians with some money that want to do this. My one piece of advice is to make sure you have a lot of beautiful women as staff. That'll get the libertarians.
That's what my thought was.
Because otherwise it's going to be a sausage fest.
You go to Ukraine, and you.
I was thinking Ukrainians too. That's crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Ukraine, there's a few different countries over there in sort of Eastern Europe that they just don't make a lot of money. You make offers for good pay. Obviously the casino is going to need dealers. You're going to need people to run restaurants and things like that. These are great opportunities for gals to meet some I don't know. Maybe there'll be some single libertarians in the boat. There's certainly single male libertarians every place else. So that was one of the ideas to make this this work. And this is Ian with his constant pummeling, like, a cruise ship will never work. I can't believe what? Where? This is crazy, right? This whole thing never even gives me the opportunity to say is like, libertarians are like other people. They like the notion of living in a place that has a brand new, gorgeous view every single day, where you can travel without never leaving your house, where you can have internet connectivity by using satellite uplinks. I think you'd probably have a problem with Skype.
That's sucky internet.
It is sucky internet, Ian. Yeah. You can have your little 1880s built house here in Keene, New Hampshire with your 30 up and your 30 down, and you could go bother the cops, and you can fight with the bureaucrats in Concord, and you can spend your lifetime trying to make liberty. Or you can pick up and have slightly diminished latency in your internet and actually have liberty right now. So the question is whether you're committed to fighting politicians
what makes
or
you
committed
think you're gonna
to
be
actually
free?
Having liberty.
You're going to be going into ports with all kinds of different governments, right?
That's a really great point.
Yeah.
Governments might be able to shake down the ship, right?
That doesn't sound like freedom.
You could call ahead and only go to ports where they're going to be welcoming to you. I've never, and I looked, you brought this up off the air at one point, I've never found a story of where a cruise ship has been shaken down in whole. I have found situations where they put sort of drug-sniffing dogs on the people who come out of the cruise ship, and then if they smell the drugs and they go back to their room to perhaps find more or something to that effect. I would recommend that if you were on a cruise ship and you managed to sneak some drugs aboard, that you do not carry them on shore into a new country, because that's going to go poorly.
Okay.
But other than that, that's the best I've been able to find. And it's not great. You could sit out in international waters and just fly helicopters in and out, but that's going to be significantly more expensive. You could bring ships that go in and out, in order to not go within 12 miles of the international border or whatever. These are possibilities if your sanctity is really important to you, but I would think that these libertarians would probably want to go to different ports. Oh, let's go to the Grecian Isles. Let's go to, southern France. Let's go see the really amazing things in the South Pacific.
So, Troy,
or the Caribbean.
you sound like you're into this.
Yeah, I'm very interested in it. Actually, I'm not a Bitcoin millionaire, but I put. Well, we should be, though, Ian, because we should have. I don't know. I should be by now anyway. I was just stupid, but insisted on buying silver instead of Bitcoin. But anyway, I think there'd be a lot of people in the entry point of $10,000, which I know isn't a lot of money, but just for the smallest, I think ideally I would like to see that entry point of a $10,000 unit just kind of bare
minimum. That would certainly keep out the riffraff, wouldn't it?
$10,000 would be for what?
Probably a bed.
Just the smallest
for
unit.
A year?
Just
a month?
I don't. No. You just.
He's saying like a buy-in.
Well,
condo
I was
situation.
to own it.
You'd
a
own
condo
it.
Situation.
But then you'd have to
Own
pay
your
like
room,
a fee, right, per month to pay all the staff to run
there
the
would
ship.
Certainly be some kind of homeowner's fee in order to run things.
Because like Johnson is in one of these condo associations,
yep.
so it'd be kind of like that. Would be the idea.
I would presume. There would have to be something like that.
Yeah.
Fuel isn't free,
No, and the staff's not going to be cheap.
Well, I don't think the only staff you're going to need is the pilots, the basically people who drive the boat, and the people who
engineers
fix the boat.
Yeah.
Other than that, you would be paying for restaurant services. This is going to be a libertarian boat. This, tan snaffle, nothing's for free. There's no such thing as a free lunch, is what that stands for.
This isn't, of course, this idea has been talked about before. Freedom Ship, Oceana. Yep. There's been.
So wait, this isn't the first time someone's come up with this?
No, sadly, the first one was hit by a hurricane.
But the point is,
swamped.
There's timing. Timing is everything, and now we have a huge market cap and all these cryptocurrencies and owned by libertarians, and timing is it. And if you, you can do this.
Why don't you call it the crypto ship, Mark, instead of libertarian
It'd
or
be
whatever?
great.
I hadn't call it anything.
It would be the first time where, basically when they would go out, right, the pirates would board the boat, And they would force people at gunpoint to give up their bitcoins.
Their Bitcoin keys.
Where are these pirates? Where are these
Somalia.
pirates?
Somalia.
Okay, you
And
don't
the
go to the
Coast
Horn
Guard.
of Africa if you got a boat. And if you do, it's well armed.
All right.
Now, that's a good question. On this boat, would people be able to carry weapons? And if so, why would they want to carry weapons? Is it against the other people that are on the boat, or is it the case, the unlikely circumstance, unless you're off the Horn of Africa, that pirates board the boat?
Well, libertarians love weapons, so I imagine they would want to do that.
Yeah, I don't. I can tell you that no other cruise ship allows that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be
That's because
something.
they've got drunken passengers all over the place.
Yeah, it sounds like a good reason not to have them. I just kind of feel like firearms may not be a really great idea aboard the ship. Like they should be kept in some kind of locker in case of boarding.
Johnson, I mean, this is your first time hearing Mark's pitch. I mean, what's your initial reaction?
Insanity.
Why?
I just am not, I think it's a great idea for, like, for example, Google was attempting to do this, offshore of California to, be in international waters to run certain business transactions and whatnot. But as a way of life and living, I think it's a terrible idea.
You're just saying it's not attractive to you, or that you don't think it would be attractive to
me,
enough
but
people?
Maybe it could be attractive to enough people.
How many
think
people
it's a bad idea.
take cruises every single year? I mean, I don't know, but it's got to be millions.
Yeah, for a few days of vacation.
Apparently, they like it. They're getting away from their humdrum life in order to get on a cruise ship.
Now they can have their humdrum life on a cruise ship.
Supposedly, it would be better.
Hey, Troy, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate your thoughts. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Is this insanity? It's Free Talk Live. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
I love sporting events. The atmosphere, the crowd. I even enjoy waiting in line. Because while I'm standing next to you, the RFID scanner in my pocket is capturing your personal information. From debit and credit cards, even your apartment building key. So you'll still be paying for this game long after it's over.
Every 2 seconds, someone is a victim of identity fraud. This Father's Day, protect Dad from crimes he can't see with ID Stronghold wallets in all Dad's favorite styles. Bifold, trifold, and even front pocket wallets and money clips. ID Stronghold pioneered RFID blocking technology over 10 years ago. ID Stronghold wallets look great and even cost about the same as wallets in most stores.
I'm Walt Augustinowicz, founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. Protect yourself from crimes you can't see with ID Stronghold.
For Father's Day, go to IDStronghold.com and get a free mini wallet with purchase of any wallet order over $20.
IDStronghold.com.
The warning signs.
First, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org. did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial toll-free. Bring up anything you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. We're on here with Captain Mark. He wants to put a boat together with
Sailing
Bitcoiners
Mark.
And sail all around the world.
Commodore Mark.
First, he wanted to buy a campground, and then that didn't really work out. So he bought a boat, and that didn't really work out the way he wanted it to. And so now he's moving on to a bigger boat. And so, so we've teased you a little bit about your midlife crisis here, Mark, where you wanted to be on the air, then you didn't want to be on the air, and then you wanted to be on the air again. You bought a boat, you didn't really like the experience. You still have the boat. Now you want to get a big boat, and it's going to be a Liberty cruise ship.
I think you're a little unfair to me on the air thing. I mean, that's negotiations between you and I that have existed, but I'm not going to drag all your laundry out on it.
I'm not the one with a midlife crisis, man.
I understand. You're calling it a midlife crisis, and I don't think that's completely unfair, Ian. But have I not talked about the idea of a Liberty cruise ship for years on the air?
No, I don't recall talking about this on the air.
Absolutely have. Let me see if I can, drum back.
I don't recall that.
Yep, absolutely have, because I've pointed out that we already have private societies. They're called cruise ships.
You talked about the.
There were the Sea Lions.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, there was the Sea Lions.
Seasteaders.
Seasteaders. Yep. And
you wanted to build a.
But the Seasteaders originally were gifted a cruise ship.
No. You wanted to build like a big platform. That was what you were talking about before on the air.
Nope.
No?
I
thought you wanted to do like a big old platform that would then hook up to other platforms. That wasn't a thing?
That's the seasteading idea. And this is where Patri Freeman and I break ways. Because I don't, like somebody has to go and they have to do the groundbreaking technology, which is the, in this case, the seasteading, and we'll see whether that works or whatever. I'm not interested in groundbreaking technology, Ian.
Okay.
I'm interested in cruise ships, of which there are hundreds on the water right now around the world. This is not crazy. Not unusual.
Johnson says it's insane.
Not attainable. Well, I mean, I guess he's not my private market. He also has never been on a cruise ship.
Johnson is a successful, person who can work remotely, so technically he is your target market. He's a libertarian who can work remotely at what he does.
I only need a couple of hundred people that would be on this boat. Currently, there is a boat called the World that is super opulent. I wouldn't be proposing something quite that opulent. If you want opulence, you can go ahead and outfit your cabin the way or I shouldn't say cabin, but your apartment, on-boat apartment, any way you want. I wouldn't be looking for that level of opulence. But the World currently has many. When I called and asked, they wanted to know my net worth before they would tell me how
tell
much
you the price?
A condo would be. And I said, look, I probably don't have that kind of net worth, but I am a journalist and I am kind of interested. And, I'm guessing that you can start buying in somewhere around, $2 to $5 million for a condo, and then some kind of association fee that is probably
Hold on.
Prohibitively.
2 to 5 million. Weren't you just talking about 10,000 with Troy?
He was talking about buying a bed.
Oh, a bed.
That's what he was talking about, a buy-in at a bed.
Okay, so you would have to share a room with somebody else would be the idea?
I would presume
10,000?
you would leave the steerage where the maids' quarters or whatever intact, and the people could work that out amongst themselves.
Hey, here's one for $13 million, Mark. A modern cruise ship, 1,400 passengers.
1,400
from
passengers?
China, 1986.
There you go. That sounds like a really good choice. $13 million?
$13.7 million.
I can find a small handful of Bitcoin millionaires that could put up that kind of money if they wanted to do it.
How many hard points does that ship have?
What's that?
How many hard points does that ship have?
What is a hard point?
Oh, for, missile mounts and Gatling guns and such.
That's
Are you saying that he's going to risk being attacked by governments of the world?
Maybe. And
Why?
pirates. And
Why would I be attacked by pirates? People always say this about pirates. Where are these pirates? You can find out.
Did you say your ship is going to be populated primarily by like million and billionaires?
There are cruise ships are full of wealthy people, and currently has the world, which is full of millionaires right now, has it been hijacked? I think we'd find out about that.
That one ship.
This would be one ship, Johnson.
Right.
No, there's if you go online, you can find a map of the incidents of piracy in the last 5 years, and you'll find they're almost entirely concentrated around the Horn of Africa, and that's something you would probably try to avoid.
Well, I think that this is a crazy idea, but the world needs crazy ideas, and they need the crazy people who are going to take the time and effort and money and give this concept a shot. I don't think it's a terrible idea, Mark. I think that it's something that maybe you could accomplish. 13 million. Okay, maybe you could find a billionaire who's a Bitcoin person to front some money up for something like that. I think that seems like it will be doable. Whether or not you can actually find enough people to populate this ship is another question entirely. And there's really only one way to find out, and that's to kind of put it out there and try to collect the investors and pre-buy-ins or however you would go about doing that.
I wouldn't even move forward with this until I got your assent that you would be willing to move onto the boat.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Half a year.
I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to be creating this on the basis of whether Ian Freeman's going to be involved or not, because ultimately
you take Free Talk Live with you. And this is one of the things you do. Like Free Talk Live's a New Hampshire show, Mark. You couldn't possibly do that from any place but New Hampshire. And so therefore, since Free Talk Live's important to me, it is my live stream.
I wouldn't be.
An additional live stream would have to be incorporate something like that in. So this isn't my idea until I get a close on that. And I don't know that that's the right thing for us to be doing at this moment.
Awesome. So there's an article from cruisecritic.com titled Pirates, Then and Now. Could pirates attack my cruise ship? And documents a few times where it has, in fact, taken place.
Wow.
As recently as 2005 is one of the ones that they were documenting here. I mean, it's about 2008, 2009, 2011, 2012. There's been some attempts. There's been several unsuccessful attempts.
I think the best thing that if you wanted a anti-piracy weapon is that you should mount, and you could probably mount 4 of these water cannons. They would suck the salt water up from the from there, and basically they're fire hoses. There's nothing nothing impressive. This isn't crazy technology. And then you just douse the pirates with water, unless they a rocket propelled.
And they douse you with a machine gun.
What do you think a machine gun's going to do to the side of a metal boat? I mean,
what will it do to the person firing the gun or the water gun?
If they get, you wouldn't be standing next to it. This isn't Road Warrior, you moron.
Well, you got an automated turret.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's how they run these things. I mean, fire boats have cranked and mounted these things. Yes, absolutely. This is something you would run from the side. You'd be hitting them no matter where they are. You basically would hit them with 2 water cannons. Their boat would fill up with water and they'd sink.
How do cruise ships protect themselves from pirate attacks? Ships should have a security plan that anticipates an attack by pirates. Planning and training must be on the basis that an attack will take place and not in the belief that with some luck it will not happen. Officers and crew are often asked to rehearse elements of the plan. Early detection of a possible attack is the most effective deterrent. Ships should travel with lights blacked out except for mandatory navigation lights. In addition, turning off the lights Turning on the ship's lights as attackers approach could alert them that they have been seen and dazzle them and encourage them to desist. The use of long-range acoustic devices, LRADs, is encouraged.
Sweet.
Primarily used by warships, they serve as a long-range hailing and warning directed acoustics device designed to communicate with the authority and exceptionally high intelligibility in a 15 to 30 degree beam. So if anybody doesn't know what an LRAD is, it's like a directed sound beam weapon.
Sound cannon.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sound cannon. It's a very, very loud, very piercing, shrill noise.
It's quite unpleasant to be the target of that, from what I understand.
It's like a very directed thing. You can't really hear it if you're to the left or to the right of
they're targeting
the beam.
you. Yeah.
So, well, actually, I shouldn't say you can't hear it. It's actually, from what I've heard, very, very loud.
Since this boat would be
but it's not crippling.
Since this boat would be populated by libertarians, I don't think it'd be too difficult to find a sniper.
Here's Mark. Here's Mark's recommended. Water pressure of 80 pounds per square inch from a powerful hose can deter attackers. Another tactic, provided that navigational safety allows, masters should consider riding off attackers by heavy wheel movements. The effect of the bow and wave swash may deter would-be attackers. Yeah, it's a cruise ship. A little tiny boat coming up on that thing, you just whoosh.
I just don't know, Mark, if living on the water is really something I'm interested in doing, honestly. And, I mean, I'm open to hearing more about this, but...
Why is living on the land so great?
Because you can, walk places.
You can walk places on a boat. Cruise ships
around
are
in a
very,
circle?
very large. They're very large.
Right. I walked in a circle while I was in jail, and maybe it'd be like that. I don't know. I want to hear more about it over time,
friends
I guess.
And hot women.
We'll see about that. You got a lot of work to do. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 6, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,292 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,879. Antiwar.com reports the Department of Justice has charged 25-year-old Reality L. Winner with illegally removing top-secret intelligence from a facility and sharing that intelligence with the news media in relation to the story from The Intercept on the NSA document involving the Russian election hacks. Reality, who was born Sarah, was working as a contractor for Pluribus International and is accused of having given the document in question to The Intercept. The Intercept appears to have inadvertently gotten her caught by contacting the government about the document and showing them a picture of it. The picture showed the document had a particular fold in the paper, which officials concluded were able to trace back to a specific printed version of the document. Investigation into the 6 people involved in printing the document revealed Winner had been in contact with The Intercept around the time it changed hands. The Intercept also reportedly shared the postmark on the document they got, revealing it was sent from Winner's home. There was a report of a potential political motive for the leaks, as Winner is said to have called Trump a piece of crap on her Facebook page. Officials were quick to denounce Winner as having violated the trust she was given in handling the document. The criminal complaint suggests she could face 10 years in prison for the leaks, and given the Trump administration's eagerness to show itself cracking down on such leaks, they will likely be pushing hard for the biggest sentence they can get. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports National Geographic said professional rock climber Alex Honnold has become the first person to scale the 3,000-foot El Capitan granite wall of Yosemite National Park without ropes or safety gear. The society said Honnold completed what may be the greatest feat of pure rock climbing in the history of the sport. It took Honnold nearly 4 hours to climb the iconic natural structure. Honnold began the equipmentless climb, a style known as free soloing, at 5:32 a.m. on Saturday after he ate his standard breakfast of oats, flaxseed, chia seeds, and blueberries. Honnold told National Geographic, "With free soloing, obviously I know that I'm in danger, but feeling fearful while I'm up there is not helpful to me in any way. It's only hindering my performance, so I just set it aside and leave it be." Honnold trained in China, Europe, Morocco, and the United States to prepare for the climb. A team of filmmakers accompanied Honnold and will use footage of the climb in an upcoming National Geographic documentary film feature. Professional rock climber Tommy Caldwell told National Geographic, "This is the moon landing of free soloing." Honnold described the climb up the steep wall as walking up glass. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports San Francisco has issued subpoenas to Uber and Lyft for a broad scope of records on driving and business practices as part of an investigation to determine whether the ride-sharing service companies have become a public nuisance. City Attorney Dennis Herrera said on Monday he was seeking records to investigate whether Uber and Lyft fail to adequately serve poor neighborhoods and the disabled and whether their drivers create hazards on the road. Herrera said the subpoenas sought 4 years of records from the companies, which are based in San Francisco and have an estimated 45,000 total drivers in the city. The sweeping request includes hours and miles logged by drivers, driver incentives, traffic infractions, and city zip codes visited by the drivers. The subpoena sets up San Francisco and Uber for yet another legal battle, as the two are already locked in a fight over the city's demand for drivers' names and addresses. Herrera sued Uber last month to compel the company to comply with the data request, which Uber has said is an invasion of driver privacy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Facing mounting criticism that lethal injection is cruel and outdated, Ohio has replaced it with a system that quickly and humanely rips off the heads of death row inmates using powerful robotic arms. The new device is designed to be as humane as possible, emitting soothing white noise and putting prisoners on a cushioned seat before its metallic talons dig into their necks and painlessly wrench their heads off. Ohio Department of Corrections Director Gary Moore praised the machine, saying, quote, "Our new system is a hallmark of compassion. Now these deaths will be pain-free because the machine's claws are coated with topical anesthetic." Quickly pulling off a prisoner's head is considered less cruel than lethal injection, which requires 3 separate chemicals. And Ohio isn't the only state changing the way it handles capital punishment. Last month, Texas unveiled the Machinator, which humanely squishes up to 50 prisoners at once. Coming up next, is anything valuable buried in the woods behind my house? Our team of investigators finds out.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
No fear. But we are relatively concerned. You know, we have somebody's mom on. You know, Ross Ulbricht from the Silk Road, his mom is on. You know, Lynn Ulbricht has been a good friend of the show, and we've done what we could to, you know, help make sure that her son's imprisonment doesn't go unnoticed. And we just had news that, well, there's some sad news, so we're going to let Lynn tell you. Lynn Ulbricht, welcome back to the show. Davi and I, Davi Barker's sitting in too. Say hello, Davi.
Good morning.
So, Lynn, go ahead and tell us what the news is.
Well, on June 1st, the Second Circuit Appellate Court issued their ruling and denied every aspect of Ross's appeal. I really had hopes for a resentencing. I thought that would happen, and a lot of people thought it would happen. It seemed, I got the impression from the oral arguments that those judges didn't like the sentence. And even from this ruling, they kind of say, well, we might not have done this, but at the same time, they upheld the sentence of double life without parole plus 40 years for all nonviolent charges. And
this is the justification for that. They go, because our brethren did it, so we don't undo it, or because he's a bad guy. I mean, did they give any justification for their decision?
Oh yeah, I mean, they went into all kinds of things, and basically said she wasn't wrong, and that it was within her discretion to do it. And actually, I suppose it's true that the guidelines or whatever do allow a life sentence. If you look at it a certain way, which is a problem. There are actually, like Ross, who's nonviolent, completely nonviolent, there are 17,000 nonviolent people serving life right now in our justice system. And this is a huge spike from the past. But yeah, they did not, they said, it was the quantity of drugs that were bought and sold on Silk Road, and that he was responsible for everything that happened on the site, which is a question also about vicarious liability, and are you responsible for what other people do? That was a big part of it. They did bring in murder for hire, and they said, well, it doesn't matter that that wasn't brought to court and proven. because it looks to us like that happened based on this digital evidence, and so, we can talk about it, but it didn't change anything anyway, so it's okay, which I find kind of frightening. Your introduction, no fear, I'm like, man, I needed to hear that. I have a lot of fear. And, of course, here my son is given a death sentence, essentially. It's a death sentence. It's not a life sentence because there's no parole. It's in the federal system. It's a death sentence.
It's an
for
example.
all time.
No, it's because they can't. My initial response, when I knew they were going to give them a harsh sentence because they needed to, just to, they're shiny badgers. And when they did, I'm going, yeah, the best thing for Ross is everyone want to put him away for a long time. They might as well just make it a really, really, really harsh sentence, so you have a better chance of people seeing what's done. That it gives him the attention that he has now. But that doesn't do you any good if they keep holding it up. So, Supreme Court, is that next?
What's normally happens in the system is that you appeal for a rehearing with the Second Circuit. I've heard from different lawyers that the Second Circuit rarely, very rarely, will rehear something. But I think
thought this was the Second Circuit.
That is.
So you
go
just go,
back and
we
say,
want
look,
you to reconsider?
We don't agree with you. We have these points, and we want the whole circuit to hear it. And you hope for a dissenting opinion.
Okay.
For reconsideration of the arguments.
Okay, so what you have is you have a 3-judge panel that reviews it. Now the next thing is, no, we want the whole, circuit, which is how many judges?
Well, that's 12. You can reappeal to those 3 judges. You can reappeal to what's called en banc, which is the whole bank of them. I don't have high hopes for that. Just statistically, it's abysmal that they don't typically rehear things.
Yeah, but Mom doesn't give up.
No, Mom doesn't give up. Mom can't give up.
Okay, so you do that, and then that's what, 6 months, a year, a decade? I mean, how long does that take? And then
they take as long as they want to take. I think that, and then we would. Then once they rule, if they, deny it, then one's next recourse is to petition the Supreme Court.
This is,
and it gets harder and harder to be heard, even not necessarily even accepted, but just even accepted to be heard at all.
No, they don't want to have their say, I would imagine, but it's or not, but.
Well, 10,000 people a year petition the Supreme Court, and they hear 85 cases.
And everyone is either of great importance to one side or the other, and it's a tension. See, the Supreme Court, I've been through all kinds of court stuff, and what my experience has been, it's political. Whenever shifts in policy or something, this is, all the rage throughout the states, and they need one unifying of this is how it's going to be in the future, amen, good or bad, this is where policy is made. So the Supreme Court is not so much of law as it is of an excuse to direct public opinion or something. It's, slavery's okay, it's not okay. Separation, separate but equal, it's not. Women's issues, gender, this, that, it's always a political thing. And the one thing that on Ross's efforts with the Silk Road, or alleged efforts with the Silk Road, it seems like it's bigger now. I mean, it's not like they stopped anything.
No. Quite the opposite. A study just came out that it's doubled at least in size. Darknet, and this is an academic study that was cited by Motherboard and other people. His sentence actually created a bump in quantity, and now it's, it had the opposite effect. And yet this ruling defends this deterrence argument, and they even say, well, because he's high profile and it's a precedent-setting case, it's even more reason to give him a life sentence because it should be a deterrent. And I'm saying, so in other words, if the media wants to write about you, then you lose your rights as a citizen because you don't have the same consideration because it's high profile? That doesn't seem right to me. That shouldn't enter into what sentence they give.
You know, you heard it from Mom. You know, that doesn't seem right to me. And I'm going, a lot doesn't seem right to me for a long time. And
well, right, of course.
This is an example. I just want to know what Ross's response has been.
Well, he didn't know. I was informed by people and that morning, and I had to go in to tell him that day because it happened to be a visiting day. And, Ross always tries to stay positive, and so especially when I'm visiting, even smiling. Well, maybe I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll wait till after the break. We'll talk about Ross's reaction to Mom giving him the news, the not good news. Well, we'll wait for that. We'll be right back.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of FreedomsPhoenix.com get every day. FreedomsPhoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Okay, I want to read to you. Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Dobby Barker sitting in. He'll be talking to Lynn here in just a second. Lynn Ulbricht, Ross Ulbricht's mom. Ross was incarcerated, has been sentenced to double life plus, 40 or bunch, and because we can, and damn it, because we're together.
Forever.
I'm sorry?
Sentenced to forever.
To forever, because. Now, this is from the sentence. I'm going to read this, and it's just a paragraph here. The three-judge appellate panel nonetheless affirmed the decision of the lower court, I bet with notes of muted criticism of American drug laws. This is what they said. Quote, reasonable people may and do disagree about the social utility of harsh sentences for the distribution of controlled substances, or even of criminal prohibition of their sale and use at all. The appellate court's opinion reads, it is very possible that, at some future point, we will come to regard these policies as tragic mistakes and adopt less punitive and more effective methods of reducing the incidence and costs of drug use.
That might happen in the future sometime.
Someday.
This might be tragic someday.
At this point in our history, however, the democratically elected representatives of the people have opted for a policy of prohibition backed by severe punishment. The judge is right.
I was just following orders. That's what that is.
I'm just following orders.
I don't agree, but the elected representatives told me to do it. So
yeah, let me parse this out. It is very possible that at some future point we will come to regard these policies as tragic mistakes and adopt less punitive and more effective methods of reducing the incidence and cost of drug use. Well, the incidence, like, who cares? I'm just, And this is reasonable people may and do kind of see. At this point in our history, however, the democratically elected representatives of the people have opted for a policy of prohibition backed by severe punishment. Okay,
I got to follow the laws. That's what that is.
Yeah, but this is the whole point of this collective thing, However, the democratically elected representatives, now that right there, the system, the democratically elected representatives, the representatives, not even the people. They don't even say the people's opinion or any of that.
Right.
They're just saying the democratically elected representatives. Hey, they're representatives because they're democratically elected. Pinky swear. So that right there is some little bit of criticism. You
can't disagree because you already agree.
Yeah, you already agree.
You already democratically elected the person who's oppressing you.
You agreed that they're your reps. All right, so it seems to me that the pressure on this, Lynn, is that democratically elected, I care what they think. I mean, this is Bastille stuff, man. This is like you go and you break out all the prisoners or something in some way, or you vote for anarchist what's his name, and he's like, free the Bastille, So what is your most effective weapon, Lynn? What do you think? Be a mom?
Well, good arguments going forward that the courts, especially the Supreme Court, will accept. But also, I'm going to start being more political in terms of reaching out to groups and ways to politically change this horrendous lack of parole in the federal system for any sentence. This is relatively new. Parole was kicked out of the federal system in the 80s, and I assume that was part of the drug war because that was the 80s. But in any case, states have parole. Charles Manson comes up for parole regularly, but Ross can't. It doesn't give any opportunity for redemption, restitution, the fact that people change over decades, and this is horrible. And so I want to start trying to change that. I know it's a huge task.
No,
It's
they
not my
want it to be horrible. They want the outrage. They want this effect, this emotion that you have, and we all feel. That's exactly what they were hoping for. Because the deterrent factor or them having any effect on actually being expanded or used or, whatever, Ross allegedly did, it's not effective. All it does is just save face. They're like, we couldn't stop this, but gosh darn it, look how much we punished. Well, what effect did it have on society? None, but, it doesn't matter. That's,
Right.
It's because we can, and we want to remind you, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to remind you.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about them continuing their pursuit of other quote-unquote dark web markets. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I want them to. I'm just saying, they got their trophy. And using him as an example, but that's true.
No, the other ones, they get a cut. They're just saying, look, you saw what happened to him? Where's our cut? I'm agent, give me a cut. And even the agents that worked on, his case, they were just taking their cut.
Well, there was a lot of rewards for people that worked on his case, but
hell, they're just stealing from him.
Well, but they're not the only ones. I mean, but in any case, the Sentencing Reform Act that Congress passed, democratically elected Congress, said that a sentence should be sufficient but no longer than necessary.
Necessary to what?
I have yet to see an argument that it's necessary with Ross. And they said, well, because he's basically thinks the drug laws are wrong or that he had a right to break them, which I'm not even sure he said that.
Oh no, they got that feeling.
He doesn't deserve. He is a bad candidate for recidivism. They think, he'll just in 20 years, which is the mandatory minimum, never having been on the internet in 20 years, he's going to come out and start another huge market and be a threat. Really?
Yeah.
He'll be like Rip Van Winkle. Where am I?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they're against his philosophy.
Yeah, it's a thought crime.
She said that. She said it was because they were against his philosophy.
Yeah,
she said, you started this site for philosophical reasons, and I'm not sure you've given up that philosophy. She flat out said that, and it's a part of the appeal. It's saying this is a First Amendment issue here, that he should not be punished for political views. And the appellate court just kind of brushed that aside. They didn't seem to think that was a big deal.
No, they're because of this. This is how you get appointed to being in that position, is to uphold the man's philosophy.
Yeah, he needs to have like a Clockwork Orange moment where he finally realizes that freedom is wrong, and he's been wrong all along, and he's so sorry for all the things that he did for freedom.
He means to be an evangelist for not freedom, yeah. This is just as much a...
So he's a political prisoner in that sense. If you take into somebody's political philosophy...
In the full sense, he's a political prisoner. The entire investigation was political from the very beginning.
True.
The reason for its creation was political, and the reason for its taking down was political.
Mm-hmm.
There needs... All right. I hate getting into this. What benefits Ross and Ross's mom most? I mean, of course, him getting out. But the game that they're playing is another level. And if you really want to play that game, you go to another level. But we'll talk about that when we come back. No violence. Doesn't need to be. Of course, they'll see it that way. But, when we come back, we'll talk about the next step. Now it's got, the next step. I'll explain.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.LRN.FM. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.LRN.FM. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock. To be a part of the show, call 602-264-2800.
Are drugs legal in space? You know, where's this jurisdiction end? You know, this is one. All right, this is my idea. I'll just come right out and say it. You know, and it's really prompted by them. They're telling us what to do. It is very possible that at some future point we will come to regard these policies as tragic mistakes and adopt less punitive, more effective methods of reducing the incidence and cost of the drug use. At this point in our history, however, the democratically elected representatives of people have opted for a policy of prohibition backed by severe punishment, writes the judge. So my thing is, I'm going, all right, do we wait till we've exhausted all means and you go through that and so on? But by then, you know, Chuck Schumer may, have stopped being the senator or pass along or something. And I'm going, all right, you need an example of, elected representatives have opted for. Democratically elected. Well, what happens when democratically unelected What happens when somebody else goes a freedom-oriented kind of, whatever, is that enough of a deterrent to these guys to stop doing this policy? I don't know what else to do. If there was gazillions of, if like Bitcoin doubled in a few months, oh yeah, that's right, it did. If Bitcoin had doubled, and all these guys got, saying, I'll throw a little Ross way, let's go kick some butt. Should Schumer be targeted electorally to demonstrate a democratically elected representation of something else? And he's in New York. So
that's why Ross is in New York, because Schumer wanted him there. That's why
there's so much evidence that would point towards him, being the effectiveness and the deterrent to keep Schumer out of office or to target him. I wonder, Donna, look up and see when Schumer is up for re-election. You see what I mean, Lynn? Like, would it hurt? I mean, what else are you going to do?
I don't think so. I think people do that all the time.
Well, this is at some point in our history, however, the Democratic elected representatives of the people have opted for a policy of prohibition. Okay, well, get rid of those representatives and the problem goes the other way.
I mean, that's almost like angling for a pardon. Like if you could change the laws and the culture and the legal atmosphere of the drug war and the culture so much that you could somewhere down the line say to a judge, hey, this guy's being held for things that aren't even crimes anymore.
That's one thing. They do this for, like, the MOVE movement, the socialist or whatever. Obama, pardoned like everybody on the planet that was ever any kind of activist, socialist, blowing up, whatever the heck.
So we need a pirate president to give a pardon to all the pirates?
Open up the Bastille. Which is what they did in Iran when they, had the turmoil. They went and they opened up the prisons, because they wanted Perot's people to get out and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of a distraction. You go, and there's not enough. It's getting to where, Ross could be such a representative of the nonviolent people in prison on these harsh sentences that this drug war has done. That would be an issue in of itself. Let my people go. And but into what? They're going, oh wow, I went out of prison into prison. But
it's worse in there, Ernie. Believe me.
No, I understand. Put yourself. There needs to be a shift, and that's why we're like, just build the ship. I mean, that's going to be a slogan of ours. Are you going to PorcFest, Lynn?
Yes, absolutely. And I am talking to and actually I spoke at a conference at Harvard Medical School about the drug war because it's stopping the progress of research with cannabinoids and that are really helping people. And so I am reaching out to people who can see the evils and the destruction of the drug war. And that crosses all sides of the aisle,
Yeah, it's a political
thing. You don't
thing.
have to be for drugs at all to be against the drug war.
Yeah, no. This is a political thing, and I can see it as this is what would happen. You target the drug war specifically, and oh my goodness, any of the drug warriors like Schumer and the role that he played and all the funky stuff that he did in this case. You do that. And then it's whenever you have done any politics to where you don't attack a philosophy or maybe even a department or a power of a branch of government, that you go after an individual, it totally changes. It's gloves off and game on.
Is there more to that than retaliation? It doesn't seem like that would actually ever help Ross's case.
It would.
We'll get someone else elected, I suppose.
Well, the only thing that it does, the only positive benefit that can do is what they're saying. It creates an atmosphere for pardon. It demonstrates that the very guy that put him in, got unelected. And Schumer's not up for election until 2022. But it would be a good campaign for a while.
5 years. Well, that's the problem with this is that Ross's life is ticking away, but at the same, everything takes a long time, and but I just feel like just got to keep moving, and I think besides this, the legal recourse, which is pretty daunting, but we're going to do it. I agree, the political, and there is a climate in the country You know, look at what's happening with marijuana laws.
Yeah,
But-
no, but this is how it worked. I remember, Mark J. Victor, attorney for Freedom.com. Mark, he always, I watched a presentation he did just this last weekend, to a gun rights group. And the one point he made about mandatory minimums, he goes, let me tell you how this works. He goes, they're going to offer you, well, they didn't, Ross, but they're going to
I
offer
wish
you.
they had. I would have been happy.
They offer
Anyway.
you probation or some kind of plea deal or something, and no jail time, and you get probation for a couple of years, and you pay a gazillion, and you this and that and everything. Or you can go for a mandatory minimum if convicted of 20 years. Guess what you're doing? And he's going, these mandatory
That's why
minimums,
97%.
they're plea bargain chips. That's all they are, is to make you, capitulate to whatever the heck it is. All right, here's Schumer's stats in the last election. Schumer got 44,788,000. His closest rival got 1.8 million, so 27.4%. He got 70.4%. And you had Democrat, Republican, Green, Libertarian. The Libertarian got 0.6. The Green got 1.5. The Republican got 27.4. And Democratic Chuck Schumer in the state of New York got 70.4%. I'm thinking that's way too high a percentage. It needs to get less next time.
Yeah, well, the evil Empire State, and he controls it apparently.
Yeah, I don't trust.
That's why they